Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Brian, you got every kind of caffeinated beverage known to man in front of you. What do you got?
I got a smoothie and Black Rifle.
2 Black Rifles, and then you got a cooler.
Oh, this is Liquid IV.
Oh, look at you trying to stay hydrated.
I got Factor, I got Liquid IV, I got all the sponsors.
You've remained remarkably healthy. Out of all the people I was worried about during COVID, it was you. I was worried about you and Tim Dillon. You were my number 1 and number 2, but you fucking coasted through it like it was nothing.
Yeah, it's weird. My doctor said I have this thing where my metabolism is too strong, and it's like fucking my gums up right now.
Your
like,
metabolism is fucking your gums up?
Yeah.
What kind of doctor you go to? A chiropractor? You go to a witch doctor?
No, I've actually been to like all the 2 dentists now because I'm dealing with it right now. It's fucking my gums are like gum disease type shit.
Receding gums?
Yeah, and so I have to get a deep clean, but they're letting me use nitrous for the first time at a doctor.
Ooh.
I've never done that. Have you done nitrous at a doctor?
It's fun.
Really?
Yeah.
How silly did you get? You haven't
I
done
haven't
it yet?
done it yet.
Have you done it?
Yeah, and I ended up like being mean to the dentist. Like I was like making jokes that weren't funny. Like nobody was laughing.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's what I'm scared of. Because, in college you do it and you fall out a window, you start like fishing around and shit. How are you going to do that at a dentist when they're trying to be precise with your teeth?
That's a good point, right? Like, you got to take a wild chance that the person isn't out of their fucking mind if you're going to dose them up with nitrous. I don't know what it feels like. Is that the same thing with whippets? Oh, we can find out real quick.
It is. It's medical grade.
We have them here. Yeah, Ari did whippets on the show. We were like, what are you doing? I was like, is this even legal?
No.
He bought them somewhere. Like, you could buy whippets?
You could buy it for those machines for the whipped cream.
For whipped cream. Yeah, it's just whipped cream.
That's what they call it?
Yeah.
That's
They
why it's
call
called
them
whippets.
whippets?
Yeah.
But I thought for whipped cream, you get like a large one. Well, that was just when I worked in a restaurant.
Well, the container's large, but then you unscrew the top and it's just a little
Right.
nitrous thing.
Dude, I worked at a Newport Creamery in Massachusetts, and everybody did whippets. I'm pretty sure I did it once. I must have done it once. I was like 15, 16, I think I worked there. And people would just go back there and get blasted off of whippets.
Damn.
Yeah,
How,
like this
how did Ari
dishwasher,
react
dude.
to it?
He just started laughing, like couldn't stop laughing, and threw his head back. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's what he said it was like. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Norman hated it. Norman did it. He's like, fuck this. This is terrible. I feel awful. I feel like I died. I don't like it at all.
Right.
You know, he was not interested. It's seeing Norman, I was like, I'm not doing it. If he's reacting like that.
Not my thing.
It's just, and then we looked up all the possible things that could happen, and you're like, oh, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that could go wrong. You're not supposed to do that.
It fries your brain cells, too.
Well, they said that's a thing with amyl nitrate. Amyl nitrate is poppers, and apparently it's big in the gay community with gay dudes who like to party. I don't know if it's still, but at one point in time,
It is. We love it.
They would take amyl nitrate, and somehow or another it helped them relax during sex. Something, I don't remember but apparently amyl nitrate's really bad for you. Like, destroys your immune system, destroys you. Like, it's really bad. Gives you brain damage. It doesn't seem like, there's some drugs that people will defend. They'll talk about the beauty of heroin. Like, there's no one out there defending amyl nitrate. No one's like, it's the shit. Like, it's changed my life. Started doing amyl, got my fucking garage cleaned. At least people who do speed, they get things done. Like people who do speed, they don't want to fucking organize the garage, putting shelves up and stuff, cleaning everything.
I need that.
Yeah, that's an Adderall thing, apparently. People do Adderall and they start cleaning shit and organizing.
Not my thing.
Yeah. Have you fucked with Adderall at all?
A couple times.
What about you?
No. They had me on Ritalin when I was a kid.
Oh, that figures everything out.
All
That
the
solves
time.
it.
Every
That's it.
day.
Ritallin's upper, right? Or downer, I mean.
I think it's an upper.
Well, it's an upper, but supposedly back then they said that if you had ADD, it brings you down. Like it's supposed to mellow you out, but I hated it.
You know who talked about that is Henry Rollins. Talked about it when he was a kid. They put him on that. He was like 5 years old. He had him on it. He was just all the time like fucking. Yeah. And the way he describes it, it's like, oh, when you see Henry, like he's so intense. Like everything about him is intense. Even the things he enjoys. Like when he talks about like listening to records, he's so intense. It's like they just cranked his fucking brain up to 10 when he's a little kid. Which is wild, because you can kind of, I mean, it's not a thing to do. I'm not saying you should do it. But what I'm saying is you can manipulate a child's mind with those things in a way. Like you're changing their reality, right? You're changing the way they experience things. That's got to change their view of life overall in general. Like if your view of life over, like, you know how stoners are, some stoners, it's abusive. They're abusive. They're so high all the time that they're just like not making sense. They like never make any sense. Like if you're doing that all the time when you're like 14, 15, 16, which some kids do, that shit's terrible for you. It doesn't prepare you for life at all. Like being a fucking full-timer when you're like 14, like, whoa. Like, dude, regular reality is hard enough. You're trying to figure out what the fuck is life? What is a grown-up? You know, what is a job? Like, when does this start? When does this I need to get a job thing start? Do you remember that feeling, like the high school feeling? Like, when do I need to be able to take care of myself? Terrifying. Terrifying feeling. And nobody prepares you for it. Nobody prepares you for this idea that you're going to have to take care of yourself. You're like, what? What? I have to pay my own bills? I have to get a job? What do? I don't know what to do. And everybody's like, you got to go to college. Like, I guess I got to go to college. I don't want to be a fucking loser. I got to go to college. Remember those days? I can remember days like when I would work like 3 different kind of jobs. I'd like deliver newspapers, drive limos, and I would do, you know, occasionally I'd do construction if like something came up and I could get away with doing it during the day. But I was always tired. I hated those jobs. But I was like, fuck, what do I do? Like I was trying to figure out what to do. And if I didn't find stand-up, oh my God, I've been so fucked. Yeah. I would have been so fucked. I would have been so fucked because my brain was not wired for jobs. You know, some people can do it. Some people are awesome at it. Some people, they lock into a career and they're very happy. You know, but for whatever it was, like with my childhood, man, my childhood was just too chaotic. I did not have any desire to be like in any sort of order where I'm like locked in. Like I was a latchkey kid. Like my parents just kind of let me out of the house. Go, have fun. And like kids like that have zero desire for order. Like you're out there wilding with these other fucking 10-year-olds out in the street, lighting buildings on fire accidentally and finding fireworks. And we did wild shit when we were kids.
Totally.
That does not prepare you for an office job. That prepares you for just sitting in class going, fuck, I got to get out of here. Dude, my kid told me on TikTok, she found this thing that was explaining how our educational system was developed. And I was like, what? I go, you got this on TikTok? I go, what did you find out? And she was like, it was developed to turn people who are like these rural people into factory workers. Like they were literally like gearing education when they started public education to like prepare these like wild folk and put them in factories. If you think about like the kind of people that were alive, that were living in like rural Columbus, Ohio, like outside of Columbus, in where you guys are from, in like the 1900s.
Yeah.
What were those people like? The farm people, like the people that were basically just like the pioneers. They just stopped and they developed a small town. And in like 1903, if you're in that fucking town and they want to take one of those people and turn them into an office worker, like good luck.
The Youngstown was the #1 steel producing city in the world through the like 30s, 40s, 50s, and then one Monday it all closed. So like everything that even it was built around was fucked completely. Like
oh my God.
Everything that their work ethic, everything was just always go to high school and then you work in the steel mill. Your dad worked in the steel mill, his dad.
How old were you when this was going down?
It was before I was born, but the dilapidation that it left this. Well, you can't. There was no like you can go chase your dreams. You can move to L.A. or New York. Like that's all stuff that you had to like find out on your own. Nobody, no teacher was like you could do anything. It was
bleak.
Yeah.
Isn't that horrible? It's such a bad vibe. It's such a bad vibe. For a child to grow up in that kind of a shattered dream vibe, like a Detroit, Michigan after the factories got pulled out of there. Like that Flint, Michigan documentary that Michael Moore did, Roger and Me, is amazing. It's amazing. To me, that's his best work because that was a young Roger who was trying to like figure out like what the fuck was going on to this place where he was from. And so it was so real. and he was so young in it. It was really like, what year was Roger and Me?
89, 92.
93.
Pull it up, Jamie.
89.
It's 89.
As you're talking about it, though, I looked up something. I typed in, what did I say? Public education developed for factory workers. Just people have been asking this question
Right.
for a few years. And hidden behind a Washington Post thing, it says, no, they are not modeled after factories. Here's why. Apparently, it came from a 2009 book called Weapons of Mass Instruction. And then it was echoed by someone in the New York Times.
Oh, okay. So it's a false narrative,
A
or
little bit.
is it what? So how was it designed? Was it designed? It seemed like it was designed for structure and to get people to pay attention to rules.
This article says that that article is saying that they modeled the system after Prussia's. The United States adopted Prussia's school system, but that then goes and says that Prussia was not a highly industrialized country or
Interesting.
during that time period. So the accuracy of it seems a little off. Is kind of what I'm getting at.
Interesting. So I wonder. So it hits. Put that back. Sorry. It says here he is in 2012. The American education model was actually copied from the 18th century Prussian model, designed to create docile subjects and factory workers. For what it's worth, Prussia was not highly industrialized when Frederick the Great formalized his education system in the late 1700s. Very few places in the world were back then. Training future factory workers, docile or not, was not really the point. Nevertheless, industrialization is often touted as both the model and the rationale for public education system past and present, and by extension, it's part of a narrative that now contends that schools are no longer equipped to address the needs of a post-industrial world.
I looked it up because I've seen some other people, and I've started doing it too. When I see something crazy on TikTok that seems like a wild fact, I'm gonna go, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, you got to look it
I
up.
gotta look that up.
That's the TikTok filter.
Yeah, the TikTok thing. There's no one who's checking on TikTok.
TikTok's fun, but man, half the shit. You ever watch that guy where it's this guy with a beard and he's a little bit bigger? He's like, this guy, check this video out. We need to find this person. Like he's pretty.
No, I
fake.
haven't seen him.
But he like shows like Karens or racist people like a clip, and they hunt them down faster than any police. Like there was a guy in L.A., the Tesla guy who was running out. Hitting people with their cars with baseball bats, and they called him the Tesla terrorist, and they captured that guy faster than the police just from.
That's
TikTok.
amazing. What was this guy's motivation for attacking people with Teslas?
He's attacked like I think it was like 10 people over the last 3 years. It like women, everyone, and there's videos of him running out of the Tesla, going like out of control.
So he's in a Tesla.
Yeah,
so he's in a Tesla and then he's attacking people.
Yes.
It's not like he's attacking people only in Teslas. I got
No. He was in a Tesla. Yeah, they call him the Tesla terrorist.
So he just pulls over and starts beating on people. Random people. He's all amped up. Christ.
He's like you could tell the guy's just juiced.
He's on Adderall, bro.
Well, the other article said he was selling steroids.
They're selling steroids. So he's getting roided up and beating people with bats randomly. Wow. Holy fuck,
So
man.
he's selling steroids.
Targeted at least 6 motorists is now selling steroids, or was selling steroids. What the fuck? I can't read. Charges were filed Tuesday against a man caught on video attacking drivers in Los Angeles with a metal pole. Prosecutors also revealed that Nathaniel Radamak had a previous road rage arrest in which steroids were allegedly found in his car. Radamak, 36, pleaded not guilty Tuesday to 4 counts of assault by means of force to produce great bodily injury, 4 counts of criminal threats, and 1 felony count of vandalism. Holy shit!
This
dude.
video right here, he just comes out.
My God.
If you haven't seen the video, you should watch.
I don't even want to see it, man. Just fucking crazy people. God damn.
You ever see cart narcs?
What's that?
Where the people don't put their cart back at the
that's
grocery
hilarious.
store?
That's
I
hilarious.
found one the other day. They literally did it to Perry from Windy
Scary
City
Perry,
Heat.
That's
Have you ever seen
hilarious.
that?
No, but it makes sense.
It's unbelievable
That makes
that
sense.
Perry literally didn't put his cart away.
And that he's driving with a mask
And
on,
he
too.
gets so mad. So it literally brings Perry, and the guy doesn't even know it's Perry. So Perry's being Perry. What are you doing? Like it.
Would you like a magnet instead? Now, sir.
Get your fucking shit off my fucking car!
It
Oh
goes
my
on
God.
and on like this for a long time. It's so funny.
Oh my God.
He's wearing a Perry Caramello Live shirt.
But very few people know
Who's
what that
Perry
is.
Caravello alive?
Right.
Look, sir.
But the ones that do, it's unbelievable.
It's hilarious that he narked on himself wearing his own shirt.
Yeah.
Essentially narked on himself. He's wearing a mask. He gets away free. Without that, he gets away free.
Yeah. He loses his mind. In the end, he leaves them he leaves a voicemail.
Oh, no.
Because there's a number on the Carton Arc thing.
What is your thought? I never watched Windy City Heat. I always thought, I was like, it's too mean. Too mean to do that to a guy.
No, he wanted that. That's what he wanted.
I know, but he's an insane person.
Yeah.
Do you think you could do that today? Do you think the same people involved? Do you think Jimmy Kimmel could be involved in something like that today?
Hell no. None of them would be involved. Not Carson Daly.
Isn't that crazy?
Not any of them.
Isn't that crazy? Because that's what kind of got him to the dance. Mm-hmm. That kind of comedy, man show comedy for Kimmel.
Yeah.
It's funny that they could never do that.
Bobcat wouldn't do it.
Bobcat directed it. Yeah, Bobcat might still do it.
Dane Cook's in there.
Bobcat might still do it. Bobcat's crazy. Bobcat has this like ongoing feud with Seinfeld. It's the strangest thing, and I don't understand why. I mean, I don't know either. I know Bobcat much better than I know Seinfeld. I don't know Seinfeld at all.
What's the beef?
I don't think I've ever met him. Nope, I don't think I've ever met him. Maybe I did like way back in the day. I went to see him live when I was 19. I don't know what their beef is. They have some sort of a beef, and so they talk shit to each other all the time.
That's hilarious. I had to follow Seinfeld at the Comedy Store. Toughest follow I ever had in my entire life.
Oh, I'm sure, dude.
Because all he did was talk about how Mitzi, the owner,
oh, that's right.
Told him he wasn't funny the last time he was there.
That's right. You were there for that set.
Crushing. He buried me with a shovel. Nothing like it ever. Because he's telling them the whole story. So even if the people didn't know how big of a deal it was that Seinfeld was in the OR, the Comedy Store, he told them. This lady told me I wasn't funny. Wonder how she's doing now. All this stuff. And she's like, everyone knows she's sick and old. And I bought a house above her house so that she could see me driving a different car all the time. I'd beep as I went by. Still not funny. I mean, he's destroying. It was like evil, cool fucking Seinfeld.
That's hilarious. Evil, cool Seinfeld.
I was buried with a shovel. Everybody, 70% of the people left the room. The other 30% were literally texting their family. I just saw Seinfeld make his return to the Comedy Store, that he hasn't been here in 35 years. He just told the whole story. I'm performing. I remember a fruit fly. The only laugh I got the set was from a door guy or whatever, because a fruit fly went in front of me real slow in the lights and it was all lit up. I go, even the fruit fly is getting out of here.
Bro, that is the craziness of Mitzi Shore. How could she say no to Jerry Seinfeld? Like, even when he went there, he was already like a solid comic.
Yep. And that's the thing that they say is that when you used to tell Mitzi, like, oh, this guy's a big deal from New York, that she'd be like, well, I'll see for myself.
Dude, the guy who used to book the store told me it's kind of better if you start off at the store. Like, Mitzi knows you're already a headliner, so she's going to make you a paid, non-paid regular. So I became a non-paid regular. I couldn't just become a paid regular. I had to do time as a non-paid, which you go on like super late at night. She didn't give a fuck about your credits. Your credits almost hurt you. Right. Like if you came with credits, you're like, oh, he already thinks he knows everything.
Right. And that's the vibe. And it makes you wonder, like, was part of her brilliant madness knowing that the way to bring out the most in Seinfeld was to do that, perhaps. Was to tell him he wasn't funny.
No. She was very outspoken about it to my face, Seinfeld said. It's funny because she said to me, you know, you're the kind of person that needs someone to step on you, and I'm going to be that person. I have to admit, she was right. I needed that person. She was that person, and it really fueled me.
There you
wow,
go.
You were right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That is crazy.
Yep.
I thought you were just joking around.
Did
you know that?
No. I've never seen that.
That's so wild that you guessed that.
Yeah.
That she would actually say that.
Well, she was...
And that she said it to him back then. Mm-hmm. So he must have already been killing it back then. Like, what year was this? 1980. So I think I saw him in... It must have been like 86 or 87. I saw him in Boston at the Paradise Theater, which was like the big theater that was connected to Stitch's Comedy Club. So Stitch's was like a little tiny, tight little box. It was a great, great room. And next door was like the bigger show where like the big headliners would come. And I took my girlfriend to see Seinfeld. And I wasn't even old enough to drink yet. And I was like, this is wild. That's Jerry Seinfeld.
Wow.
And that's where I got the idea of like asking questions to the audience, like letting the audience just yell out questions, because he did that. And I saw him do that. I'm like, oh, this is probably how he writes. Because at that time, I was already thinking about doing stand-up.
Wow.
But I was like, oh, he's thinking, this is how he writes. Like, he comes up with ideas by people, like, throw a thing at him, and off the cuff, because he's already murdering for an hour. It was really impressive. Super clean, but, like, perfect jokes. They were perfect jokes. They were just, everything was like the setup, the punchline, the fucking way he handled himself on stage. I was like, wow. Those guys are so intimidating when you're starting out. Like, you really need to go to an open mic night and watch people eat shit. You fucking need that.
Oh, yeah.
You need that when you're starting out. I think you need that with everything. Like, if you think you're going to play basketball and you go to the NBA for the first time, you're like, what the fuck? I can't move like that.
Right.
Like, I think that's the thing with everything.
People sucking helps in the beginning.
Yeah. People sucking helps.
I remember that first night ever in a comedy club that I ever signed up for an open mic was at the Comedy Store, and I got like number 12 on the lineup. And I'm like, man, this is, here we go. And they weren't as good as I thought they were going to be. And I'm like, whoa, I think I have a chance. Like, this is crazy. Like,
Richard Jeni said that very thing. Richard Jeni said that bad comedians inspire comedians to try.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly how he phrased it, but it was something to that extent. And he was so right. I remember thinking that at the time. Like, if it wasn't for watching open micers, I would probably chickened out. But you watch the open micers, and you're like, oh, they're just clumsy like me.
Right.
Like, okay, this is the thing you get good at.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then it became, like, I thought you just were funny or you weren't funny. I'm like, I'm kind of funny sometimes to my friends. Like, how do I be funny to these people?
Right.
But then you go to an open mic night and you realize, oh, this is like a thing that everyone's working on to get better. Like, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah.
Like this weird mass hypnosis, this weird idea game you're playing with people.
And the fact that you could do it for free always boggled my mind. Like, I was always, all through high school, I'm like, how am I going to pay for college? Because I'm not getting a scholarship with my GPA. So once I was out, I was literally paying for college and owed these loans. Luckily, I dropped out fast, so I didn't get too deep in the hole. But anyway, by the time I realized, like, wait, you could just do these open mics. It's like free college. Except it's for a specific career.
And you get to watch, like, you'll get to watch Dave Chappelle pop in.
Yeah.
You'll get to watch, Damon Wayans will show up. You get to watch, all these fucking comics from other states that are in town. They want to do a spot at the store. I mean, that's the first place I saw Schultz. That's the first place I saw Tim Dillon. I mean, all those guys who came from New York, they all want to do the store. So if you're working there, man, and you're doing open mics, and then you get a fucking doorman job, holy shit. You had a free education. Mm-hmm. You were there every day watching these killers work on their sets that they were going to do on Netflix. And you're seeing it all evolve because you're seeing them Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're seeing like all these multiple sets. And so you get this just education of how it's pieced together that is unavailable to anybody who doesn't hang around the clubs.
Right. 100%.
It's the only way you can get it. Like, there's not like a school you can go to make you a better stand-up comic. Like, there's, you can learn things in regular school and you can apply them to stand-up comedy. But the only way to do stand-up comedy and learn how to do it is you have to do it. The fact that we have to do it in front of a crowd, like, you can't even practice it. There's nothing you could do by yourself,
And even on the road, those other clubs don't run like the store. There's not 16 headliners in each room, you know what I mean? So if you're lucky, you might be able to maybe work at a place where there's one headliner coming in, walking probably straight into the green room, doing the shows, and then probably leaving right afterwards.
Well, think about the show we did at the Vulcan. Think about the show where you got Hans Kim, and then you got David Lucas, and then you got Mark Norman, and then you got Ari Shaffir, then you got Shane Gillis, then you got you, then you got me. Mm-hmm. These are crazy shows, man. Crazy shows. They were so fucking fun.
It's been ridiculous.
God damn it. It's a murder fest, too, from start to go. And you know what makes me the happiest is watching the big pop that Ari gets.
Yeah.
When Ari goes on stage, he gets a giant pop. People go nuts. That special fucking pulled him out of the fire.
That was a beautiful special,
It's
man.
a
Just how it's
perfect
filmed.
special.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. The fact that he did it in front of candles and shit, and they had to relight all the candles.
And for him to do that with full-blown AIDS is just incredible.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Full-blown. Imagine if that was like a real diagnosis. Like full-blown is such a street term for someone really being fucked up by AIDS. But if like, well, Tony, you've got full-blown AIDS. Like if your doctor said that to you, like what a disrespectful doctor to use the term full-blown AIDS. Bro, you got full-blown AIDS. It'd be like, what kind of doctor did I get?
If he threw a bro at the front like that, that's even worse.
This
Like,
is the same,
bro.
Yeah, it's the same Dr. Redban was going to. He was diagnosing his gums.
My metabolism's so fast.
Bro, full-blown AIDS. Here's the good news. People don't really die of it anymore.
Yeah,
and they got all crazy treatments now. They could actually reverse HIV. You don't like people have like been cured of it now.
Yeah.
They're like multiple people. It's really wild.
There's like this medicine that's been really helping.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But I've been the thing about like they had already come up with protease inhibitors and all these things that prevented people from getting really sick. Like remember Jeff Scott had it forever. Yeah. A fifth person is likely cured of HIV, and another is in long-term remission. One case involved a man with cancer who underwent a specialized stem cell transplant. The other involved a woman who received immune-boosting therapies as part of a clinical trial. So this is different results from different studies. So doing a couple of different methods.
And also likely cured is a little bit of a term, right? Like imagine being that guy's boyfriend and he's like, good news, babe, I'm likely cured. Let's go no condom tonight.
They have another drug that you take now and it prevents you from getting HIV. It's like a blocker. So it's like a go crazy drug.
Yeah.
It's like for gay guys, you just gave them the fucking toot, give them that green light.
Oh, yeah.
If you give them a fucking pill that they could take and you definitely won't get AIDS, oh my God, they're going to try so hard to get AIDS.
All I think about...
they're going to go...
Oh, yeah.
They're going to go hard.
I think about how those must be getting thrown around like parade candy on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Yeah, I mean, what a miracle.
Yeah. Why
Science.
wouldn't you?
So that's the good side of pharmaceutical drugs, right? Everybody wants to talk about the bad side. But,
Yeah. You can butt fuck and not get AIDS.
Boner pills. There's a lot of different things came out. But remember the fucking gas station pills, Redban?
I got burnt out. I think it did damage.
Redban was taking these fucking... Who knows what bathtub they were mixed up in. Yeah. He would take these boner pills that he would buy at the gas station, and apparently they're insane. And I think they had steroids in them because like one time you got a little bit of road rage.
Yeah.
Or roid rage.
And sometimes like I felt like I was like about to pass out, like I was tripping, like seeing trails and stuff. Like what's that? I think it was like
fentanyl.
Blood pressure.
Bro, it could be everything. Everything and anything. They just mixed them up and called it Rhino.
Right.
Remember the names?
Yeah. Yep.
Black Rhino.
It had a hologram of a rhinoceros.
Yes.
And I collected the containers that they came in because they were like trading cards. And I had like 30 of them, but when I moved to Texas, I was like, I have to throw those away. What am I doing with like?
You should have saved them.
I just took photos of them.
Oh, you should have saved them. They were so stupid. But it was like, what a genius idea, because you're only selling a couple pills, but you're selling it for like what a prescription you really should be.
Right.
So you have this crazy markup, and then on top of that, there's no one telling you. There's no FDA involved in these transactions. You're basically selling like vitamin B.
Right.
Like you can kind of just, put those up for sale until they come after you. And then they test them and find out there was all sorts of stuff in there. Viagra and Cialis and steroids. There was like different mixtures.
When they got caught and they got in trouble, that's when they made a new LLC, and that's what the Rhino 1, Rhino 2, Rhino 3 was. No, like seriously, that's...
No, they kept getting busted. It was like an open secret.
Yeah.
I remember you were the detective of all this.
Right.
It was hilarious. There were steroids in them too, and weren't there some of them had amphetamines?
Yep, and that's John Jones supposply that's how he got caught with steroids, but it ended up being a boner pill.
Yeah,
remember back in the day, it was John Jones or somebody.
Yeah, I think John. There was something along those lines of that story. I know that boner pills were involved.
Yeah,
but I thought they were real boner pills. I don't think he's taking. But the thing is, like, if you're getting them online, like, who fucking knows who's cooking these things up, bro?
Yeah.
Who knows who's making these things? You're trusting anything that calls itself like Rhino 5, like Rhino 5. That's hilarious. But it would make sense. Like, sounds like a good mixture. A little bit of steroids, a little bit of speed, Cialis mixed with Viagra, and sell it at a gas station. Like, who's pumping gas needing to fuck? Like, bro, I gotta fuck. I'm so horny from these fumes. I need some boner pills. I need to get going. Have you guys seen the story of this person who worked for the White House? They were in charge of like something in the nuclear program. It's a trans woman who's bald and has a beard and a mustache and is apparently a kleptomaniac.
Yep.
It is the wildest story.
Yeah.
They caught her stealing a bag. I should say, is it he? Like, he has a mustache. Isn't his name Sam? I don't want to misgender. I'm not sure if it's like non-binary. Whatever.
But whatever it is,
trying to be
it's
nice.
a thief.
It's a fucking thief. It's a fucking terrible thief.
Yeah.
And then there was a woman who recently saw photos of this Sam person. And she is like, I think she's a designer. And she had very specific one-of-a-kind clothing that had gotten stolen.
Oh, Jesus.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's playing with rules.
There's
That's
not
what
enough-
that person's doing. That person with the beard and the shaved head and lipstick and everything, they're playing with the rules.
I'll tell you, there's not enough boner pills in the world.
So this person, Sam, has been stealing women's luggage, like not just one, but they've caught multiple times this person, Sam, on video stealing luggage, and this woman who said from 2018, see if you can find that story, the story of this woman who was a designer from 2018.
Yeah, there it is.
So she had these very specific pieces that were missing, and then she sees this person wearing her shit, this person who works for the fucking White House.
What's he do at the White
And she's
House?
like, no way. Well, they are fired. They're fired from the White House.
What did they do?
It's something with the nuclear department.
It was
Department
the,
of Energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Former Department of Energy official Sam Brinton had been contained in her luggage. She reported missing on March 9, 2018 at the Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. And then you see this person. So she's a Houston-based Tanzanian fashion designer. How do you say her name?
Asia
Kamsen. Asia Kamsen. So she saw her fucking clothing. That's one-of-a-kind clothing that she designed. And she's seeing this person who stole it, who works for the fucking White House. 2 separate airports, and notice he appeared to be wearing her clothes in several photos. Compson said she had packed the same clothes in a bag that vanished back in 2018. So this person's been doing this forever, just stealing girls' clothes from the airport and then trying them on when they get home. There's a thing called autogynephilia, and it's men who are turned on by dressing like women, but they're heterosexual, but they're turned on by dressing like women. They like to dress and maybe even behave like a woman, and they get aroused by it. It's like Jordan Peterson talked about. He said it's always been a part of the psychology literature. Like it's like a reoccurring thing that exists with men. That there's been men forever who like to dress up like women, and it gets them sexually aroused. And now they're in the same category as people that identify with being a woman. Like if you're like a legitimate trans person, and I know a lot of them. I know a lot of them now. There's some that you go, like if you ever meet Blair White, you go, okay, that's 100% correct. Like whatever you're doing is correct. Like she seems like a woman.
Wow. Look
See,
at
this
that.
is the lady's clothes.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy? That is so crazy.
Wait,
Well.
it's different.
But there's a kink. No, because it's folded over on the right side. See how it's folded over?
Well, the pattern in the
is a different pattern.
Yeah, in the middle.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, it could just be.
Are you sure it's not folded over? See,
See,
because you see the right side of his thing. You see how it's the black. You see the inner lining.
like a different part.
Well, they wear it better.
Yeah, but you see, this Sam person has the narrowest fucking shoulders for what appears to be a biological male. And if he's like got it folded over so it'll fit on his shoulders. Like I think if he spread it out, it might like fall over one shoulder. That doesn't seem like the same picture.
Wow.
It's very similar.
Can you
It's not the
imagine?
exact
Well,
same
it could
piece.
also just be she had multiple
Yeah,
pieces,
yeah.
and you show photos of one of her pieces is similar to the other one that he was wearing, but makes sense. I mean, if the person's been busted more than once stealing chicks' clothes, but that's like a kink thing, man. That's not a poor person that needs clothing. That's not a person in desperation trying to feed their family. That's a kink. That person's kinky. They like to steal women's clothes and then put them on. Maybe they're also good at energy. Maybe. But you can't hire them just because they like to dress like a woman.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? You can't do that. Like, that's crazy. And this is what you get when you go fishing for crazy.
Can you
You
imagine?
can't just hire someone because they like to dress like a woman. Like, they have to actually not be crazy and not be stealing luggage and be good at their job.
Good face on it.
Yeah, beautiful face.
Yeah, unbelievably stunning. Can you imagine that being your type? Like looking for that? Like I've always wanted a woman with a shaved head and a goatee with a lot of lipstick.
I want someone who I can fucking watch football with. Let's go! Fucking let's go!
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing is so odd.
Right, like how does that person really beat out the
Right.
other people for that job? Is
Right.
that really, did they really go through the people's resumes?
It's like the bit I'm doing about the teacher from Washington State or from Vancouver that has the giant fake tits.
Oh yeah.
Is it somewhere in Canada?
Yeah.
Did you see that a picture?
Yeah.
The picture
Yeah.
of him in normal when he's
Walking
not
around-
at work.
When he's not at work, he dresses like a regular guy.
Yeah.
He's running a Klinger
Yeah.
from MASH. Klinger from MASH, remember? Mm-hmm. Klinger dressed up like a woman. That was his try to get out of Vietnam, and they said, fuck you, you're going to dress like a woman in Vietnam. He's always trying to get like kicked out of the army. And the way he would try to get kicked out is try to dress like a woman.
Yeah.
And they just let him do it. And then, they made him dress like a man, but it never worked. The point is, like, same with this person. Like, that's what they're doing. They're pulling a Klinger.
Yeah. My favorite episode of South Park of all time, Lemmy Winks, is when Mr. Garrison finds out that you can get a lot of money if you get fired for doing gay stuff. so he keeps trying to outdo himself and be gayer and gayer, and the people keep talking about how brave he is, and then finally he brings in Mr. Slave and he shoves a gerbil up Mr. Slave's ass, and the whole episode turns into this adventure of the gerbil because the rectum closed.
Yes.
The gerbil has to make his way all the way through the mouth.
Oh, my God. I saw that.
Dude, this came out when I was a senior in high school and just started smoking marijuana. Like, I just started smoking weed, and 2 weeks later, this episode came out. And
Oh, my
I
God. I forgot how good this episode is.
was dead. The music is crazy. There's fucking songs.
Did you see the live South Park concert? They redid this live.
Oh, wow. Dude, let
I
me...
forgot how funny that episode was.
Oh, my God.
They have so many bangers, dude. So many bangers over the years.
Yeah.
Like, there's not another show like it. And the fact that it's still going strong. Still going strong. You can't do it anywhere else. Like, even Comedy Central, if you try to bring a show like that to Comedy Central, they'd be like, no fucking way.
Yep.
But with South Park, just go ahead. It is the 800-pound gorilla of cable TV. It's like the one thing that no one can fuck with. They go so hard. They go so hard.
I saw a video of him using his kid to do the Canadian impressions, the Megan
Ike.
and... Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ike. He uses his own little kid, and he was, like, whispering in her ear, like, what to say. So, like, he has her cussing and stuff, and he's, like, cracking up while holding it. This is amazing.
Don't kick the baby. Good job. Let's try one more like that. I love you too, big brother.
I love you, big lover.
Big rubber.
That's cute.
Hold
That's
on.
adorable.
It's better when they're doing the cussing ones, though. These ones are cute. That's a lot.
Now,
That's awesome.
It's funny.
They're national treasures. Those
Yeah.
guys are national treasures. They really
Genius.
are. What they do for just to advance comedy, it's so awesome. So they let you be free to laugh at the most ridiculous shit. It's like that's important today. It really is. It's important today. Like, god damn, people are so crazy. It's such a wild time where people are getting so upset about so many different things. Like it's like a fever pitch out there. Whether it's Ukraine and Russia or COVID or fucking the climate, it's like, woo. Like everybody's like right there all the time. Like, right. We need to chill the fuck out as a nation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's wild, man.
It is wild. The wildest time I could ever remember. Like gearing up for this 2024 election, I'm fucking terrified. Like, what is that going to be like? What the fuck is that going to be like?
DeSantis just got control over Disney. Did you see that?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I'm not exactly sure.
Did he just score a coup on Disney?
Yep.
It's the land they own, but
What?
Yep.
What does that mean?
it's a long. I remember reading this a few months ago when it first started happening. It has to do with the water rights and stuff because it goes through that county. They portioned off that section where Disney World is, made it separate from Orange County, and
Well,
the
they gave them
surrounding areas.
crazy tax breaks back in the day to draw tourism in.
Yeah.
So now he can charge them because they're supposedly woke and, anti-DeSantis. So he's like, screw it. Now you guys can pay your fair share.
It's so weird how so many people that are involved in show business go that route. So many people. It's like they feel compelled. Like people that wouldn't have done it 5 or 6 years ago wouldn't have gone along with it or going along with it now.
Right. They have to play the game.
It's weird. It's weird to watch because I don't think it's representative of most people's sensibilities. I think it's a very small group of very pushy people. There's enough of them because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of us. 300 and fucking whatever million. You're going to get enough that are really into it and really noisy. But the way the regular people think, the people of the world that don't have to pretend that they agree with something or disagree with something, most people are very confused by what's going on. Most regular people are very frustrated and confused by like someone like that who's working for the White House. Like, how? How did that person get in there? Did that person get in there just because they dress like that? Because I think they did.
Yeah.
I think they did.
Right.
I think that's how goofy they are. Did you see the White House press secretary lady the other day? She was touting all the different like minorities and all the different people of, all the different women, how many women work for the White House now, a record number of people in the LGBTQ community work in the White House. Like all these things that, okay, how are they doing?
Yeah.
How's this working?
Right.
This doesn't seem like it's working that well. Like we don't care. Like that's not what most people care about. And if you're lesbian and you're great at your job, awesome. If you're gay and you're great at your job, awesome. But that shouldn't be all we're hearing about.
Right.
Shouldn't be all we're hearing about is your identity, the identity politics thing. Like as if somehow or another doing that is great for everybody. Like, do you think about that when you look for anything good? Do you think about like, well, I hope the staffing there is very diverse. Like, don't you hope whoever the fuck is there is the best at whatever the fuck they do? That's what you're thinking about.
Right. Is that what they would want their doctor to walk in looking like?
Exactly. I saw there was an internet meme about that. About, like, what do you say when, your house is on fire? Are you hoping the firefighting team is diverse that are coming to save you? There's been a few of these, but they're like, yeah, like that's not what you want. You want diversity because you want people to all have an opportunity to do things. You want it, but you don't want to force it. Like you can't put people in a position that shouldn't be in the position just because of the color of their skin or where they were born. That's crazy. And if there's like a real problem with people of one group or another group not getting the opportunities, then we should address that because that's the real problem. Everybody's at each other's throats for the wrong things. When the real things are you have these massive communities of disenfranchised people like Youngstown, like where you grew up, like Detroit, like Baltimore. There's places like that all over the country. And we just sent how many billions of dollars to Ukraine? Did we always have that money laying around?
It's crazy.
Okay, but whether or not you agree that we should support Ukraine or not, I don't understand it. It scares the shit out of me. But if you had all that money laying around, you know how many things you could have fixed? Like, the real problem is people not getting the same, situation to grow up in, not getting a situation that's not filled with violence and drugs and gangs and chaos and shit. But no one's trying to fix that. Like, if you want to fix the way people think about each other, if everybody had, like, a decent chance, pretty much everybody had a decent chance, like the whole country, you'd have way less problems. You got places where people are fucked from the jump, and no one's doing anything to stop that. No one's doing anything to try to help. That's the real problem in this country. It's not like most people don't give a fuck who you are. They just like you to be good at what you do, and they like you to be fun to be around. Mm-hmm. We all find each other's groove. Like, oh, this is Mike. He's fucking weirdo, but he's cool about this. And we all find our groove with each other. You know, how many comics do we know that are gay? Nobody gives a shit.
Right.
How many comics do we know that are of every ethnicity, every race? When you're hanging around with comics, it's just who's funny.
Right.
It's just who's good, who's cool to hang with. Nobody gives a fuck about that. That should be the whole world. That should be the whole world. I don't know if you get there by forcing people to get hired because they're a certain race or a certain gender or certain anything.
I mean,
I think you got to get it to the point where all these people have the same sort of crack at it. So then it just becomes a meritocracy, like a real meritocracy. Because that's the argument against it. It's like it's not a meritocracy if people experience racism or sexism, or if people grow up, disenfranchised and they grow up in bad areas. Like, they deserve like a little bit of an extra help, and maybe they should be hired first. This is the way that's the thought process behind it. But I think that encourages like someone who's not as good to succeed,
right.
And I don't think that's good for anybody.
Right.
I think the best people should succeed. We just have to figure out like how to make that fair. But the best people should succeed in everything. That's the way we get better at stuff. That's it.
the NFL, I'm sure you probably know about this, but they have a very, very interesting thing that they're doing where you literally get better, what is it, draft picks or something based on how many black coaches you have instead of, so you can literally reconstruct your team. You can build it stronger. Is it draft picks or is
and so you get more draft
a bigger
picks?
salary cap or something? It's wild.
The salary cap is wild because if there wasn't a salary cap, the Saudis would just come in. And then we go, we have an idea.
Yeah.
Everybody, $1 billion.
Yeah.
And just buy up. Like, I think those guys have more money than we can possibly comprehend.
They're doing it with golf. That
Yeah,
LIV.
it seems to be working.
Yep.
Is it? No? Jamie? Shaky?
Well,
Tell me, Jamie.
What's the definition of working, I guess, would be...
Are they having successful events?
They're just
that's
starting.
the definition of a successful event.
Oh, well, now we're cutting hairs. I don't know golf, so you tell me. Like, what's a successful event?
They just had their first event of the year, and the response online is people aren't that into watching it. It was on the CW, I think, in the United States, so it's a little tough to find that in the first place. Like, I don't get it.
Interesting.
It's aired a way different way than they aired PGA golf. It's aired to everybody. You see all the shots at the same time, kind of. Everyone's playing at once, which is way different.
Yeah.
Especially if you've watched the Full Swing show that just started on Netflix.
Interesting.
They're explaining golf to people who don't really know it that well. There is a lot of money in there, though. That's for sure. Wow. So that's successful for those people.
That's interesting. So professional pool is encountering a little bit of a renaissance. It's very interesting. There's a few companies that are putting on these events, like Predators putting on these events, and Matchroom Pool. And they have these and they're streaming them live online. And it's becoming successful again. Like pool, because they're streaming them online, like people are into it again. It's very interesting. And it's just, they're doing them, the World Championships this weekend from the Rio.
Nice.
I'm going to try to stop in on Friday and check it out.
Did you see the guy in East Palestine that talks like Mickey Mouse now?
Yeah, I did. I was just swallowing a True Brain.
What's that?
It's a nootropic. You want to try it?
Yeah.
Dude was on my podcast once, a doctor, and he came up with this stuff.
Really? Is it orange
I think he was a
flavored?
doctor. Was he a doctor? I don't want to give anybody extra titles. You want to try one? Want to get smarter?
Okay. No. I don't want to.
Stay where you're at.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you smarter. Helps your memory a little bit. It's good for verbal memory. Sometimes the Mary Jane fucks with the mind.
Ooh, that's delicious.
It's good, right? It's nice, little liquid, little shot. I like it.
It's like a snow cone.
With the voice thing, wouldn't there be multiple videos of multiple people with that?
It could be his own reaction to it. He got a very high dose. It could be there's more people. They're not talking about
it
it.
says there's more people.
More people?
That's what this article says. They're going to go check door to door.
Oh, they're sending the CDC in. That's
Bro,
always good.
this is very scary stuff.
Yeah.
Very scary stuff.
Youngstown's 20 minutes from there, and they just call it East Palestine. They don't say it's 45 minutes away from Pittsburgh or 45 minutes away from Cleveland. They just call it East Palestine.
So it's getting into Youngstown, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting in everywhere, right?
Everywhere. Pittsburgh's really close.
Yep.
Columbus is not
Dude,
far away.
that's
Right.
so scary. Did you see the dead deer that they've been finding? This dude took video. He was down by the river or this creek or whatever it is, and it's just fucking completely polluted. You know, you throw rocks in it, you see big oil slicks bowl up, and he found 3 dead deer, like really close to each
That's
other.
where it is on the map.
There's East Palestine.
Youngstown's up
Wow,
here.
Youngstown's right
Pittsburgh's
there,
right
dude.
there.
Oh my God, Pittsburgh's right there.
Are those videos of it raining in Ohio where it was like foam? Is that fake?
I don't know.
Did you see
I saw
that?
the snow and all the stuff in the ground.
It's like foaming rain.
Bro, what's in those clouds now?
Yep.
Imagine?
And that's a cloudy place. They literally have the lake effect there. So the precipitation, that's where it's always
Gray
cloudy.
skies.
Always.
Oh my God. So
One-
it's sitting above you.
Yep.
Is it? Does it dissipate? What happens to the poison that gets into the air?
Goes to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, where does it go? Like if it really hovers over you, like holy shit, and comes down when it rains. What the fuck?
The video that I don't know it's real is showed a man outside and when it was raining, it just seemed like it was suds. And so that's not normal. I don't know if it's a real video, it's TikTok. But
Wouldn't you think that whatever the smoke is, like whatever the particles are, they would be too heavy to just sit in the clouds? Wouldn't you think that they would fall to the ground?
I don't know.
We're too stupid to talk
Right.
about this. What would you, Jamie? You're smarter than us. What do you think would happen? Like if chemicals were burned and they went into the clouds, would they stay in the clouds?
I think back to the movies of like the Dirty Waters just came out where they're looking into like chemical companies and people getting fucked up and there's giant lawsuits that go on forever. Aaron Brockovich thing I think was a similar situation.
Yeah.
People getting fucked up from some
Right.
chemical company.
Right.
Repeat.
Teflon.
I don't. Why would this one be different? Honestly.
No, I think it is. I think, but what I'm asking
I
is,
know.
do you think that when they burn the chemicals that they
yeah.
stay in the clouds?
We will
Does
not,
that make any sense?
I don't think they're gonna tell us and explain it to us, simple people.
Bro.
Some people might know.
What a mad scramble! Did you see that people were trying to blame Trump because of deregulation? But it turns out that whatever deregulation he passed wouldn't have applied to this, and also wasn't instituted. It never really went through.
They try to blame him for
Is that
everything.
true? Make sure that's true.
How?
If anybody can, you can, Jamie.
Pull up ChatGPT.
What is the question?
Was the deregulation by
yes.
Trump?
Was Trump era deregulation responsible for the crash? Because I think it was not.
I don't know that.
I think-
I heard that it was about the
It was a
penalties
bearing.
for the company, not even the train.
Oh, really?
That's what I had understood.
Oh,
was
really?
The deregulation was about.
Oh,
The
really?
train was going to happen anyway. Remember, we looked up. It was like 1,700 a year.
So the
train lines are
deregulation
fucked
was
up.
just basically like giving money to the corporations, or letting them pay less money.
I don't know. I'm just so like first thing
Jesus.
says Washington Post analysis. So far, Trump's rollback of regulations can't be blamed for the train wreck.
There you go. And that's Washington Post. So if that's Washington Post, see, NTSB chair contradicts post that wrongly claimed Trump to blame for Ohio train wreck. But that's like a thing that people do immediately. Whenever there's something fucked up, they immediately point at Trump. He did it. Yeah. He did it. But when the problem like that is, like when you say he did it, a lot of people hear, oh, he did it. And then how many people hear the follow-up? How many people here are like, no, he didn't do it, and this is actually what happened? I bet it's probably like 60-40, right?
Yeah.
I bet like 40% find out that it wasn't true.
This is from an article that says Buttigieg calls on Trump to back reversing deregulation in wake of train derailment. And they're saying it comes from this letter.
Well, maybe he's correct. Let's read what he has to say. Like maybe both things could be true, right? What could be true is that the deregulation is bad, and what also could be true is that Trump wasn't responsible for this particular crash. Both things could be true. Says one thing he can do to express support for reversing the deregulation that happened on his watch. I heard him say he had nothing to do with it, even though it was in his administration. So if he had nothing to do with it and they did it in his administration against his will, maybe he can come out and say that he supports us moving in a different direction. That seems very reasonable, doesn't it?
Okay. Yeah.
White House has blamed Republican lawmakers in the Trump administration for lax railway and environmental regulations in the aftermath of the derailment. White House has pointed to a 2021 letter from the Republican senators to the Federal Railroad Administration urging the agency to expand the use of automated track inspection, and pointed to a Republican study committee proposal to cut to government funding for to address chemical spills. That's a weird way. The proposal to cut to government funding. I think it's just a typo there.
Yeah.
Additionally, Politico reported the Trump administration rolled back several safety measures for railways, including regular safety audits and an Obama-era rule that required faster brakes on trains carrying flammable materials. Dude, how about the fastest brakes?
Yeah.
It's containing flammable materials. How about the fastest fucking brakes you can make? But that's a true thing, though, that this particular rail that thing happened on was not set up for transferring hazardous waste, right? Or hazardous materials. Isn't that true? I think they're saying that train was not set up for having that kind of stuff on it. It's like, bro, it can just fall off the tracks going like 300 miles an hour and explode. Like, what do you got in there? And you're going to ruin everything forever all around it? Like, how long before they clean that up?
Oh, and now what are they going to do it? Yeah, so I'm reading.
What are they
going to
do with this
What are
stuff?
they doing with it? They're putting it in a landfill
In
it says.
Indiana, right?
Putnam County landfill.
Great. Terrific.
Put it in the earth.
Driving it across the state to put it
If you
somewhere else.
own a landfill, bro, you could put anything in there. Computers, bodies, all kinds of shit. Old cocaine, like dressers.
4 hours ago, story.
Ohio toxic train disaster leads to more concerns in other states, while scientists say chemical tests in East Palestine are unusually high.
I mean,
Yeah, you think?
Look at that.
Unusually high. Really? What a crazy statement. Unusually high. How about toxic for humans? I mean, what happens to those people that can't move? Those people that are stuck there, like they can't afford to move, they got nowhere to go.
That's everybody there, by the way.
Yeah, at least it's going to be really cheap to move them somewhere else, like $50,000 houses everywhere. You know,
Bro, I mean, you got to get those people out of there.
yeah.
Like, how dangerous is it, you think, to be there right now? Is it just groundwater, or is it air? Is it everything? Fuck, man. You know how scary that would be if you were poor and you were stuck in that spot?
Was that plane crash real that happened?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know that story?
What happened?
Dude, a plane that was headed with, isn't that true?
It seemed that
Yeah.
way. I'm trying to double check.
I want to triple check, but I'm pretty sure there were five environmental scientists who died in a plane crash were headed to East Palestine, Ohio. It says false. 5 employees of an environmental consulting firm died in a plane crash near Little Rock, Arkansas on Wednesday, but they were not traveling to East Palestine where a freight train derailed. The employees were responding to an unrelated February 20th explosion at a metals plant in a Cleveland suburb more than 60 miles away. Okay. So it wasn't
not
true.
the same.
So, yeah. So the facts in the days since the February 22nd plane crash, some social media users have falsely claimed the aircraft was transporting environmental scientists to East Palestine, where a freight train derailment earlier in the month prompted officials to intentionally release and burn toxic vinyl chloride to avoid the danger of an uncontrolled blast. Okay, so it wasn't true. So there was a plane crash filled with scientists, but they were going to a different spill.
That seems a little fishy. Why are 5 environmental scientists going to some other thing nobody's heard of when there's this massive tragedy 60 minutes away? And that's probably the closest major. Well, I guess Pittsburgh is a more major airport that's closer, but that's the second closest.
We would have to. Well, first of all, we didn't know these scientists were going there, right? So we would have to assume they've already sent scientists to East Palestine.
Yeah.
They don't have to tell you that they're doing that, right? It's not like they make a press release like, hey, we're sending scientists to find out. Because then people would want to know, like, what's the results? Like if the results are unprintable, like if the results are like, oh my God, like everyone's going to die. Like who knows what the results are?
And we know that if it is unprintable, they're not going to tell us anyway.
So if
from
they sent,
past to everything.
If they sent 5 people to this other crash, how many did they send?
5,000.
How many did they send to East Palestine? They want to like check for sure. They want to like double and triple check on this one because this is a doozy. People are calling it like an American Chernobyl. It's like, this is scary shit.
Yeah.
It's wild that those things happen all the time. We Googled it the other day. There's like 1,000 derailments a year. They happen all the time. Bro, fuck.
Brigham sent me a meme that was like, if you want to run a train properly, here's who you should hire. And it's that cop lady that got...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen those. She's in like 10 memes. Poor gal.
Yeah.
Good girl.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Cold-blooded assassin.
Yep.
It's a fun office mate right there.
Yep. Seems like they were having a good time on the job.
Give me 3 black rhinos and an 8-hour shift.
That's too much.
Let's go.
3 will have a heart attack,
Yeah,
bro.
you die.
Yeah, you got to be careful. How many people died from rhino pills?
Probably a lot.
We should find that out.
That's a good
Let's take a
question.
guess. Because you know they've got, if it would have to be like
Heart attacks.
some banker's son died from rhino pills, and then they would ban them. So it would have to be someone influential who died.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna guess. It's hard to say.
I don't think there's a number for that because it pretty much is like whatever the boner pill really is, like Viagra.
Right.
A lot of people probably overdose on Viagra, like their blood pressure drops, they have a heart attack or something like that.
But I think there's probably deaths that you can absolutely attribute to boner pills. If you think of all the people out there, all the crazy fucks that try to drink a gallon of whiskey and fucking smoke 50 packs of cigarettes, and like just people that go hard.
Right.
If they go hard with the rhino pills, I want to know how many will kill you. Imagine if the guy's like, fuck, bro, I'm going out with Heidi tonight. I'm taking 20 pills. Don't do it, Mike.
This sounds like the next
Don't
episode
do it,
of
Mike.
This sounds like the next episode of Protect Your Parks. You guys should each take 3 boner pills and just try to fucking maintain, look at each other right in the eyes.
I'll come with a gold suitcase and give it to you guys.
You imagine a roided up, boner pilled Shane
Oh, no.
right next to a roided up, boner pilled Ari.
Oh, no.
Both of them roid raging with boners
Ari's
on amphetamines.
throbbing 3-inch penis.
Ari's got a giant dick, dude. He does. He'll show it to you.
Not since the AIDS.
Still, it doesn't shrink.
Full blown.
It's got the full blown doesn't shrink. Regular AIDS sometimes. Full blown. There's no other disease that you say full blown. It's got full blown cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Do you say full blown
Yeah,
cancer?
you got full-blown cancer.
Really?
I think. I've heard that before.
It sounds right.
Yeah.
Right when I was saying, I was like, that's a questionable one.
Full-blown period.
You don't say you have full blown tuberculosis, right?
No.
You might say full blown herpes.
That sounds bad.
Full blown herpes.
Oh, yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. Back in the day, dude, they used to die from syphilis. Like people rotted out from syphilis, and they got syphilis from fucking, and everybody knew they got it from fucking, and people still fucked. They still fucked.
There's that new gonorrhea, full-blown gonorrhea that's killing people that can't cure.
What?
Have you heard about super
No.
gonorrhea?
When
Super
did this-
gonorrhea is like a new
No.
thing. They have no cure for it. You just,
What?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you heard of this?
No.
Jamie, please Google
Hi, I'm so
super
happy
gonorrhea.
You haven't heard this yet. Yes.
No, I
It's
haven't heard of it.
so fucked up because
scary,
it's
dude.
mutated gonorrhea.
Imagine you're just a young person trying to have a good time, have a little intercourse. What is super gonorrhea? Here, right here, January 2023. Super gonorrhea has reached the U.S. Holy shit! Super gonorrhea has infected people in the U.S. It says Massachusetts officials have reported 2 cases of gonorrhea that are resistant or less susceptible to all known antibiotics used to treat it. Dude,
You live your life with green shit coming out of your dick.
dude, go low limit so I can read about this. Super gonorrhea has infected people in the United States for the first known time. This week, Massachusetts public health officials announced the discovery of 2 gonorrhea cases appearing to display increased resistance to all known antibiotic classes that can be used against it. These cases were thankfully still curable, but it's the latest reminder that this common sexually transmitted infection is becoming a more serious threat. Bro, do you think nature, just when humans get to a certain number, nature just decides to try to start killing them?
See the symptoms right there? Oof.
Okay. Discolored discharge from the genitals, painful or burning urination, and rectal bleeding if caught from anal sex. Yikes. Wow. When gonorrhea is left untreated, it raises the risk of more serious complications like damage to the reproductive tract in women and swollen testicles in men, both of which can lead to infertility.
That's not bad.
That's terrifying. But they figured out for syphilis, they figured it out. Penicillin. Again, shout out to the drug dealers, the pharmacy people. They figured out penicillin. You know, shout out to the scientists. Bro, people were dying of syphilis, and now they just give you a shot.
Right.
You ever see like people dying from syphilis? See what it looks like? Like holes in their face.
Crazy.
Their noses fall off. Holes in their scalp, like giant patches of tissue missing. Scary stuff, dude. Scary stuff. They just basically rotted away.
Damn.
Dude. It's crazy because like that was a common thing back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah, look at that guy. His face is just rotting away.
Oh my God! Look at that woman's nose at the top middle.
And look at the paintings of people that had syphilis too. Look at that one on the upper top. Look at the upper top with the guy with the head, the bald head. Look at his head. Those are syphilis lesions. So it's literally his head is rotting away. And there's no cure for it. Look at that girl. Her face is rotting away. And back then, you just fucking died. You know, you just rotted out and died like this.
Damn.
Wow.
Scary shit, dude. Like parts of your face just fall off like The Walking Dead. Fuck. I think that's how Al Capone died.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't he die from syphilis?
I think so. Yep, there he is, right there, bottom right.
Boy. Jesus.
Famous people.
Famous people who died of syphilis. Go to that. Let me see what famous people died of syphilis. So, Bram Stoker, the guy who wrote Dracula, he died. Oh my God. Which is kind of fucked because getting syphilis is kind of like being bit by a monster. Mm-hmm. Like you're slowly rotting away.
Stroke.
Al Capone.
After pneumonia from syphilis.
Late stages of neurosyphilis at 48 years old. God damn,
Yikes.
Al Capone was 48 when he went down?
Damn.
Wow. 48 with syphilis. Imagine. After, you know, all the shit Al Capone got through. An STD took him out.
One piece of pussy.
Dudes, they had the bullets in the circle, those Tommy guns.
Yeah.
Back in those days, I mean, Al Capone was running the mob in Chicago. Bullets were probably flying at him all the time. Mm-hmm. Syphilis gets him.
Didn't they think he was like in a vault at one point in the 80s and they had like a lot?
No, Geraldo Rivera found his vault. And they didn't bother to check to see if there's anything in it. They wanted to reveal it live on TV.
That's right.
And so Geraldo breaks through the wall and he goes inside with the camera and there's nothing. Zero. So everybody was like hanging on the edge of their seat because it's live. It was a live event. And Geraldo Rivera was breaking into Al Capone's vault in a live event. And there's nothing in there.
Geraldo Rivera's had a lot of rough moments.
Well, that was the roughest. That was purely the roughest. But the greatest moment he ever had was on the Geraldo Rivera show, whatever the fuck the show was called, when he introduced the world to the Kennedy assassination video. Mm-hmm. Dick Gregory who's a comic. Dick Gregory came on to the Geraldo Rivera show with the footage that he had obtained of the Kennedy assassination from the Zapruder film. So the Zapruder film was acquired, I believe, by Time Life. I think they were acquired by Life magazine. And they didn't do anything with it for a long time. And then he got it, and I want to say they aired it on TV. It was at least 10 years, if not 12 years after the murder. So it was like 75, I think. And so on the show, he introduces this. There's Geraldo Rivera looking sexy as fuck. 1975. See, there it goes. So it's 12 years. Oh, it's Good Night America, what it was called. That was Geraldo Rivera's show. And so Geraldo, this beautiful Maine, is the host, and Dick Gregory comes on, and Dick Gregory brings on this other cat. I don't know who the other guy is.
Bad guy from James Bond.
That's exactly what he looks like.
That's him.
That's the guy.
Mouth.
That's the guy with the
Munch mouth,
button.
whatever.
Jaws.
Jaws. Yeah.
What's his name? Okay, so when they watch it, you could see Geraldo Rivera react to it. Well, let's play it because this was the thing. The thing was, a lot of people at that time, they're coming off of the Vietnam War. There's a lot of people that have a massive distrust of the government, and there's a lot of people that thought that Kennedy was assassinated by more than one person. There was all these rumors of people shooting from the grassy knoll, and there was all these conspiracy theories. But until you watched the actual video of the assassination, there was no confirmation that something was amiss. And you watch the video, and his head goes back into the left when he gets shot, and you're like, what am I looking at here?
Right.
Like, what's going on here? Like, and he got shot in the neck as well.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like, you could see he grabs his neck, and then you see his head go back. And it's not consistent with this idea of a magic bullet that goes through two people and creates all the... It looks like he's getting hit multiple times.
Right. And the brain goes back. It goes into the trunk.
Yes.
What is happening? This is a film taken by Marie Muchmore that leads into the Zapruder film. It's for time continuity. The president is waving to the crowd here.
And Jacqueline Kennedy, of course, is sitting alongside him in the open car.
Right. This is from Orville Nix's film. This is originally 8mm footage. And they're heading now toward Elm Street. They're on Houston Street now. They're going to make a left-hand turn. It's on the corner where they're going to make the turn there that the book depository was. Now, this is the Zapruder film.
Okay, so the cars are coming along now into Dealey Plaza?
Yes, these are the lead motorcycles of the motorcade.
All right, now, with the president and Mrs. Kennedy is also Governor Connolly.
Right. Now, before he goes behind the sign, the president is waving to the crowd. When he comes out from behind the sign, he is shot. Then Governor Connolly is shot.
He's already been hit.
He's already been hit.
And now?
At the bottom of the screen, the headshot.
That's the shot that blew off his head.
Oh.
It's the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in the movies.
Now, the Warren Commission said that all of the shots were fired from behind by Lee Harvey Oswald, a lone assassin, firing at the president. And as you could see, clearly, the head is thrown violently backwards, completely consistent with the shot from the front, right. Now, this is an extreme blow-up of just the president from the film.
All right.
Coming out behind the sign, he's shot.
He's hit from
He's hit here.
From the front, too.
From the front. Now, Jackie doesn't realize what's happened yet. She goes to his aid.
And now?
Jesus. So fucked up.
He's hit from...
Again, the violent backward motion. Totally consistent with 80% of the witnesses, which said the shot came from the grassy knoll in front and to the right.
It's interesting to note how many people is running towards where most folks thought the shots came from.
The head goes backwards in the next film from the other side of the street.
Oh, God, that's awful. That's the most upsetting thing I've ever seen. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Wild. Wow. How strong is Dick Gregory? Dick Gregory in 1975 bringing that film footage with, who was the other guy he was with? Should give that guy a shout out.
I got to meet Dick.
Did you say
Gregory.
Robert Groden?
At the end of this description, it says Robert Groden is one of Rivera's guests. That's
Okay,
all it
must
says.
be. Must be who it is.
Dick Gregory had a little comedy club in downtown L.A. Did you ever go there?
No.
Yeah.
When was that?
It was 2000, like 14, 15, 13.
The one downtown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Dick Gregory's comedy club, I think it was called.
Is that the guy?
I'm asking.
Doesn't seem like this guy.
No, it doesn't.
No.
You sure?
Maybe.
Is
Yeah.
it? Robert,
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's him.
Yep.
Yeah, he just looks.
Yeah,
He looks like
different.
he's creeping me out in that picture.
That's pretty creepy.
Well, he's seen some shit.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're the guy who gets a hold of the footage that shows that Kennedy got assassinated by a guy from the front, and you're going to show it on television. And what a wild scramble that must have been the next day.
Did
When
they
people
explain how
heard
they
it.
got that?
What?
Did they explain how they got it? Like how?
It's a good
It
question.
was like 12 years later, wasn't it? Or
Yeah, it
something
was
like that.
It was. I believe we said it was 13 years. It was 13 years after the assassination, or 12 years, right?
Yeah. Did they
75. And it was 63.
buy someone's storage thing and start looking
Yard
through
sale.
I think they had, like I said, I think Time Magazine had acquired it. Time Life or Life Magazine, whatever it was back then. I think they had acquired it, and they had the footage. and they didn't release it. And somehow or another, Dick Gregory got it. I don't know how, but I'm pretty sure that someone had sold the footage.
It says CBS lost a bidding war with Time Life, so someone had it to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
But how did they find it?
I'm surprised they ever let it out.
Auction house?
I feel like the guy who maybe filmed it, or his family, perhaps.
Abram Zapruder stood on a concrete pedestal. He filmed the presidential 26
That's
seconds.
a crazy piece of history.
After Secret Service agent promised Zapruder that the film would only be used for an official investigation. So maybe maybe he came forward, I guess. Zapruder gave 2 of the copies. Oh, so he made copies of it himself.
Smart.
That's what it is.
Smart.
I guess he
the
got
original
money.
film was retained by Zapruder in addition to one of the copies. So November 23rd, a bidding for the footage lost a bidding to Life magazine for $160,000. Wow. $1.3 million in 2023 dollars. CBS News correspondent Dan Rather was the first to report on the footage on national television after seeing it. The inaccuracies in his description contributed to many conspiracy theories about the assassination. In his 2001 book, Tell Me a Story, CBS producer Don Hewitt said that he told Rather to go to Zapruder's home to sock him in the jaw, take the film, copy it, and then return it to let the network's lawyers deal with the consequences. According to Hewitt, he realized his mistake after ending their telephone conversation and immediately called Rather back to countermand the offer, disappointing the reporter. A 2015 interview on Opie with Jim Norton, Rather stated that the story was a myth. Okay.
It still doesn't explain.
Yeah, well, how did they get it?
Like, how did it end up in? I'm going to read this.
Right, but this is like,
It's loading.
So it's hard to say.
Yeah.
So somebody had it. I just don't know how Dick Gregory got it. I don't know how the gentleman with Dick Gregory got it. I assume he brought that guy on, sort of like how I would bring a guest on the JRE. You know, like, tell me what's up. What happened? You imagine back then breaking that piece of news? Geraldo Rivera must have been shitting his pants. Like, what have I done? Those guys are still alive.
Right.
Like, it's not like today. You talk about the Kennedy assassination today, you're talking about someone who died 50s, what is it, almost 60 years ago. It's a long-ass time. You talk about it in 1975, those dudes were still running shit.
Mm-hmm.
And to see that on television, like proof that the story was shady, that must have been a big fucking deal. You know, I don't think we could ever appreciate what it would be like to be a grown-up in 75. It was probably madness. Madness.
Man.
Everybody's just getting back from Vietnam. Like, what the fuck was that all about?
Right.
Disco.
Water
Bell
beds.
bottoms. Water beds.
Ah, the days.
No super gonorrhea.
And the worst cars America's ever produced.
This article about Zapruder says after walking away, he ran into a Dallas news reporter who knew, was acquainted with Soros, who was a Secret Service agent, and they got them connected almost immediately.
Okay. It says offered to bring Soros to Zapruder's office. Zapruder agreed and returned to his office. McCormick later found Soros outside the sheriff's office at Maine and Houston, and together they went to Zapruder's office. Zapruder agreed to give the film to Soros on the condition that it would be used only for investigation of the assassination. The three then took the film to the television station WFAA to be developed. After it was realized that WFAA was unable to develop Zapruder's footage, the film was later taken to Eastman Kodiak's Dallas processing plant later that afternoon, where it was immediately developed. As the Kodachrome process requires different equipment for duplication than for simple development, Zapruder's film was not developed until around 6:30 p.m. The original developed film was taken to the Jameson Film Company, where 3 additional copies were exposed. These were returned to Kodak around 8 p.m. for processing. Zapruder kept the original plus 1 copy and gave the other 2 copies to Soros, who sent them to the Secret Service headquarters in Washington.
So they had it immediately, and he held on to it for like 10 years, it looks like, right?
Is that what happened?
I'm trying to. My next question would be like, how did it end up in the auction house? Maybe he died.
I
and
feel
his
like
stuff
that's
got-
what I remember. I feel like I remember his family
There you
having
go.
something to do with it.
Stoley contacted him later that evening, right away. Someone else
Okay.
contacted
Late that
him.
evening, Zapruder was contacted at home by Richard Stoley an editor at Life magazine. They arranged to meet the following morning to view the film, after which Zapruder sold the print rights to Life for $50,000. Sorley was representing Time Life on behalf of the publisher Charles Douglas Jackson. The following day, November 24th, Life purchased all rights to the film for a total of $150,000, which is $1.3 million in today's money. The night after the assassination, Zapruder said that he had a nightmare in which he saw a booth in Times Square advertising, "See the president's head explode." He determined that while he was willing to make money from the film, he did not want the public to see the full horror of what he had seen. Therefore, a condition of the sale to Life was that frame 313, showing the fatal shot, would be withheld. Although he made a profit from selling the film, he asked that the amount he was paid not be publicly disclosed. He later donated $25,000, about $221,000 today, of the money he was paid to widow of Officer J.D. Tippett, a Dallas police officer who was shot and killed by Lee Harvey Oswald 45 minutes after President Kennedy was killed. Wow. Okay, so in 75... Time sold the film back to the Zapruder family for $1. And in 78, the Zapruders allowed the film to be stored at the National Archives and Records Administration, where it remains. In 99, the Zapruders donated the copyright of the film to the 6th floor museum at Dealey Plaza. So I'm still confused as to how they got it.
Dick Gregory got it?
Yeah, how'd they get it?
I'll investigate.
Whew.
They're coming.
So I wonder if the one that they showed on Geraldo Rivera's is the one with all the frames.
Yeah.
Is that the one with all the frames?
Oh, it showed that shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder if there's like a version that has like one extra frame. Or if that's the version without the frame omitted. Well, either way, it's interesting how like blurry it is, right?
Yeah, it looked like shit because I thought it was the time of the video, but then when they went back to the guest looked way better than the footage they were showing.
Well, he was doing on a little 8mm.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they have professional TV cameras in a giant studio with crazy overhead lights and the whole deal. You know, back then cameras sucked.
Yeah.
They fucking sucked. And if you're going to film something, good luck figuring out what the fuck you're filming.
But even that looked like a copy of a copy of a copy of what that would look like at that
Well,
time.
it might have been, right?
Yeah.
They might have given him the copy and not the original. Who knows if like the duplicate was even remotely as good? Maybe it's like VHS tapes. Remember when you could make a VHS tape and then you could make a copy of it? It looks like shit.
Yeah. Or they filmed it off a TV back then or something.
Oh yeah, those are the best.
Yeah.
When you would buy movies, the dudes would set up a VHS recorder in a movie theater and they would film it on the screen.
Yeah.
And it would like almost fit your screen, but you could buy like a brand new movie for $5. And you're like, okay. I watched multiple movies that I bought on the street when I was a kid. And then I bought them, and it's just a VHS tape of a fucking camera that some guy set up in a movie theater.
I had a copy of Pulp Fiction like the week it came out. I thought it was like the most awesome things. I could just watch Pulp Fiction all day long in my house.
Wow. Sounds terrible.
It was a bad copy.
Yeah.
Oh, the copies, they're all terrible.
They showed that guy that we looked up, Grodin's copy of the Zapruder film. So he had a copy of the Zapruder film. And Dick Gregory was outspoken opponent critic of the Warren Commission.
Yeah.
So there was, it sounds like they had a meeting and made up a plan. They like, oh, look what I have. All right, I'll go on Geraldo and we'll put this out to the public kind of thing.
It's so interesting how when you get access to information like this and you find out things about the past and you realize like there's never been a time where everybody was on the up and up. Never been a time. Like now it's kind of more in your face because it's so easy to find out things and people are finding out things so much quicker. And like a lot of these companies and governments, they can't like hide things as easily.
This says that the response to this showing of the video led to that church committee, which is what outed a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes. The investigation on the intelligence activities by the United States, which resulted in the United States House Select Committee on Assassinations investigation.
I think that's where MK Ultra came from, right? Like all the information on it.
Whoa.
I believe.
Is that where I thought that was Freedom of Information Act, was it? Or was
That's what this is. This was like an investigation into all the stuff the CIA was doing. they like the Senate. They had a committee. That's what
They
the
did
church
some
committee
wild
was.
shit.
Operation
Imagine
Mockingbird.
being one of those guys is dosing people up with acid.
MK
COINTEL.
Ultra,
Yeah, there it
COINTELPRO,
is.
Mockingbird.
Jesus Christ. They were doing wild shit back then, man. Just dosing people up with acid and studying them. Giving that. They think, like, one of the suspicions that comes out of the book Chaos is that guy, Jolly West, who was responsible for giving LSD to Manson, allegedly, they also have this guy visiting Jack Ruby after he killed Lee Harvey Oswald. Jack Ruby went fucking crazy, and they think he might have just dosed the shit out of this dude. Like, he was saying that, like, Jews were on fire and he was in hell and, there's demons, and, like, he went, like, full nutter.
Wow.
And he did it after he shot Lee Harvey Oswald. Can you imagine, like, if you want to, like, get rid of a witness, why did you shoot him? Why did you kill that guy? Give that guy all the acid in the world. Mm-hmm. Let him scream and yell, and then give him a little cancer, and it's like, we're done.
Right.
That's it. And that's what happened. He had cancer, like, instantly in jail. He went crazy, had cancer. Like, the whole story is really nuts. Fox News piece stated in April of 1964, a psychiatrist called Louis Jolly West, they called him Jolly West, visited Jack Ruby in his isolation cell in a Dallas jail. According to West's written assessment, he found that Jack Ruby was technically insane and in need of immediate psychiatric hospitalization. Those are conclusions that puzzlingly no one who had spoken with Jack Ruby previously had reached. Ruby had seemed perfectly sane to the people who knew him. Louis Joylin West pronounced him crazy, but what West did not say was that he was working for the CIA at the time. He was an expert on mind control and a prominent player in the now infamous MK Ultra program, in which the CIA gave powerful psychiatric drugs to Americans without their knowledge. So of all the psychiatrists in the world, what in the world was that guy doing in Jack Ruby's prison cell? Yeah, what in the world was he doing there?
Yeah.
That's Tom O'Neill. That's Chaos. Fucking great book. Great book. Really, I can't recommend it enough on Charles Manson. It's so crazy what the CIA was doing. They taught him how to be a cult leader. They gave him acid. They taught him how to take it. They taught him how to give it to people and not take it and pretend you're taking it and then manipulate them. Whew. I mean, that guy didn't just learn on his own out on the street. Like, he went through a program that got him to develop this gang of hippie killers. What they did was wild. Like, they engineered the Manson family. And then every time he got arrested, they got him out of jail. Like, he would get arrested, and people were like, well, why are you letting him out of jail? And the sheriff would be like, well, it's above my pay grade. They just got visited. Guy showed badges, like, shh, open the door, let him out, shut the fuck up, we'll be back.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's what they did with Whitey Bulger, too, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, the history of them doing that is so nuts. There's so many times that these agencies have had someone working with them that's evil as fuck. Mm-hmm. And they let them get away with stuff. Like, how many times they done that with drug dealers to get them to rat on all the other drug dealers? How many times they done that with so many fucking creeps?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The Whitey Bulger one's nuts, though. When people found out that he was an FBI informant, they were like, what? That guy?
Right.
Dude, he won the lottery twice.
Literally?
Yeah.
What?
Won the lottery twice.
That's not true.
Do you know how cocky you have to be when you're rigging the lottery to win it twice? Do you know how cocky you have to be? Crazy. Google that. I'm pretty sure it's true. He won it once?
At least once. I'm seeing about a second time.
I feel like he won it twice.
$14.3 million jackpot he claimed in 1991.
There you go. What? And what was the other time? I hope I'm not making this up.
No, it seems like there is something else.
I feel like I'm not making it up. And I feel like what the scam was it was a way to launder money. So if somebody won the lottery, like say if you won the lottery and you won $1 million, say, listen, I'll give you 1.2, and you give that ticket to me. And then now I've gotten rid of $1 million. I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can move stuff around. Mm-hmm. That you could say, this is where I got my money from. and people can't say shit.
Crazy.
Because if you wouldn't even have to give them $1 million too. Because the way the lottery thing works, they give you like X amount per year for like forever. It's annoying, Or you could take all of it at once, but you don't get nearly as much, right? Isn't that the deal?
I always thought that I would do the longer, like just be like, I don't have to ever work again. I'll have $100,000 a month. Like that's enough, But then if you die, do your family get that? I don't know.
Yeah, probably not. There's probably a clause that cuts you off.
Yeah, so then there's that.
It's like, you're not around anymore.
Right.
Yeah, we're not paying you. What is the difference? Like, say if you win like the Powerball and you win $100 million, what's the difference between the payoff and the overtime payments? Overtime gets you to $100 million, but what's the payoff? Like if you want it all at once, you want to go crazy.
What would you say?
Like you got coke and bullets and you're ready to go. You just want to go nuts. You're like, no, I want all the money. If you're just like some wild dude that all of a sudden gets $100 million thing, and like what is it like 40 million? Like how much is it?
Yeah,
What's
what would
the
your percent
drop
be?
off?
You'd say 40%?
Yeah,
I would wonder what the drop off is.
I'd say 50.
50? Think it's half?
I think it's 65.
Well, you also have to pay taxes on that half too. You have to think of that.
Yeah.
So you're not really getting $100 million. So if they give you 50, and then what does the government take? I bet they take like half.
It's about half. 40.
For something like that?
Yeah.
For something crazy like a lottery? Give me my piece, bitch.
$1.35 billion. The payout was 707.
Yep, so that's about 50.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. And then how much of that do they have to pay in taxes? Even if they pay half. Cha-ching.
It's probably like 40%.
You imagine how many times that guy has to change his phone number?
The IRS will take 24% off the top, and the rest will be due at tax time.
24% off the top, and the rest of tax top.
So what's tax time now?
So for the 1.35 billion, it says they did the math on this. Skip down. Set 60. We go. If the cash option is taken at 707, you owe 169 million or 170 million in federal taxes. So you get 538. You lost 800 of the 135 or 1.35 you want.
That is pretty wild. But isn't it crazy how much the government takes? They're like, we would like 169 million, please.
Yeah. Ukraine.
That's our score.
Yeah, we have to.
So the government wins always. Every time someone wins the lottery, the government wins. That's a giant win too. So the setup is you get a bunch of people, they all throw their money at this thing because it's legalized gambling 100% because no one's limiting the amount of tickets you can buy. You can go nutty, right? People go nutty. They buy hundreds of tickets, right? And then when you win, the government wins. The government gets a stake every time. How many lotteries are there? How often does that happen?
That's a great
question.
question.
That money just coming in. And so the government is basically a casino.
Yeah.
And they get the best cut of any casino. They can't lose. It's not like you can win and the house pays you. Get the fuck out of here. That was the money that came from all you people throwing your money into this thing. Mm-hmm. And then we get paid. Yeah. They get paid an enormous amount. Imagine if you're running for president and you said, the government never taxes you on your winnings. No more lottery. Fuck, they didn't play. You put your hard-earned money into that pot.
JFK 2 coming this summer.
Can you imagine how quick they'd kill you if you tried to take away that lottery money?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. How many times do they have a $169 million payout like that? Like how many times, what is a Powerball? How often does that take place?
There's a bunch of different ones too, right?
Twice a week.
Is there just one Powerball?
There's Powerball and there's Mega Millions. They alternate. It's like Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday, or something like that.
That big one, the biggest lottery payout ever that just happened, is there's a guy saying that he stole it from him. So there's this whole controversy now with that.
Well, if you were a crazy person and you decided that someone stole it from you, all you'd have to do is accuse them of it, and the next thing you know, you're in court.
Yep.
And you're in court with some fucking guy dressed like Robert William Aprovaya. That was mine.
Oh,
it was
rest in peace.
On my front porch. I remember it.
Rest in peace.
He died?
Yeah.
When?
Last week.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
God damn it. I wouldn't use him as a reference.
I
loved that guy.
His uncle or whatever found him, though, and I guess he was sitting there with a big smile on his face, so that was like positive.
He was a fun guy.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy. Never shake hands. Never shake hands. Couldn't even give him knuckles. He was not interested in anything like that.
He would always send me messages about you and like texts and stuff like that, like random things.
Well, I used to protect him from the goons.
Yep.
The goons would always pick on him because he was like such an odd guy. I was like, leave him alone, man. He's a nice guy. You're
one of the few. I just found this out that like Brian Moses, me, you are one of the few that he actually talked normal to. And
yeah.
I
had conversations with him about marijuana because he was a marijuana advocate, and he was an attorney at one point in time in his life. He just had a mental health breakdown. I don't know the extent of it. He didn't talk about it in depth, but I love that guy. He was a good guy. Mm-hmm. You know, I would always have a smile for him when I saw him. I was always happy to see him. We always talked, you know, even briefly. You know, he would ask me about marijuana questions and so he just wanted to talk, make sure you still like him, you're cool with him. He was just an odd guy, and then he would go on stage and he was pretty funny, man. He'd make me laugh. You know, he would kind of do the same act forever, but I saw that act, dude, in like 95.
Yeah.
I saw that act back in the day. He was around for a long time, and he would have to walk home when it was raining out, and he would take his shirts, because he wore the same shirt every day, and he would stuff plastic bags inside all the linings and cover everything with plastic bags. That's how he stayed dry while he was walking home. He walked home. He lived in a flop house in downtown. And so he would walk home. It was like a fucking hour and a half walk.
Yeah, if more.
Yeah, probably more. Yeah, he'd do it every night.
That place had
every time he went there.
So many wild characters would gravitate towards that place.
Oh my God, so many crazy people. So many just full on nutters. Robert William Apavaya.
There he is.
Boone Shakalaka also supposedly passed.
Rest in peace, Boone. You sold me a lot of lighters.
I know. Half my wardrobe.
Yeah, Boone was always selling stuff.
Yeah.
Come by with records and shit. I know people who bought good records from him.
He had a laptop once, and I really needed one. I was like brand new. I was poor as hell. I'm like, what do I have to do to get this laptop, Boone? He's like, why don't you show me your dick? And I swear to God, I'm like, look, Boone, that's gay as hell, but I need a laptop. I'm going to pull, because I was wearing like sweatpants at the time. I'm like, just peek over here. Come on, you son of a bitch. I'll give you one glance. Get over here. And he peeked over. I showed him. I take the laptop. I plug it in the back, and it was broken as hell.
That story has been passed around so many times. I've never heard you actually talk about it.
Yeah, if I was with you, I'd say, hey, plug it in first.
Yeah.
Plug it in first. Mm-hmm. You can't trust a laptop you buy off of a homeless guy.
That wants to see your dick that badly. I want one thing and one thing only. I want to see that dick.
There's Boone.
Boone.
Boone Shakalaka. Boone's another character that was around for 25 years.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I remember when he first started hanging around. It was weird.
Every single night he was there.
There was this Russian dude who always sold lighters too. You remember that guy?
Yes, Monkey Balls.
I saw
him,
Monkey Balls.
I saw him right before I moved here.
Dude, that guy used to have the craziest lighters. He'd give you sell you a lighter, and you press the button, and it would be like a girl's figure, and her bikini would light up in different colors.
You used to buy so many of those. I have 2 of them still somewhere.
Oh, I wish I had them still. I loved them.
Yeah.
Because he just always had like a box of them. He was like selling lighters. He would come around. He wasn't a comic. Just a guy who would hang around and sell lighters.
I never met Monkey Balls.
Yeah, he stopped hanging around Mencia days. He stopped.
He moved on to greener pastures.
Yeah. He was outside of the what's that diner down the street. That's where he hangs now.
Like, does he?
Yeah,
Mel's.
Yeah. He hangs at Mel's now.
Wow.
No,
who's that cat? Oh, there's another dude named Monkey Balls?
No.
Oh, well, our guy wasn't a comic.
No.
Our guy was just a dude
Very
that
nice
would just
guy.
hang out there. Yeah.
Always had cigarettes too. You could buy cigarettes from him.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He
he always
sold
had a
cigarettes?
suitcase of everything.
That's hilarious. It's such a weird fucking place. And the fact that it was on Sunset too, like Sunset's such a weird place. That it's just, there's so many hopes and dreams, and it's like there was a thing about that club that no other club will ever be able to recreate. And that thing was that was our legitimate launching pad. Like everybody knew that if you could get there and if you could make it there, you could actually make it as a comic. Like there was this one place where it was just universally regarded as like an epicenter of some of the all-time greats. Universally regarded. and that it was in Hollywood, and it was back at the time where that meant like you'd be in films and you'd be on television, and it was like the stand-up was like a pathway to all these other insane worlds that Robin Williams was in now. You know, it was just a different place. There's no place ever going to be like that. No matter what we could do in Austin, it's going to be a different vibe.
No, I don't think so. You could redo it at that club, man. That has so much magic. You could already feel the magic.
You don't redo it, though. You do a new thing.
Right.
You do a new thing.
Right.
But that thing, that one thing, that part of that thing, the lack of organization, the way it was so chaotic, that's some of the beauty of that thing.
Right.
Some of the beauty of that thing was the nuttiness of it. Like that people would be hanging out in the back, smoking weed till 4:30 in the morning, just talking and laughing, and then, and then I'll see you tomorrow. And then it was, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'd come back the next day, and it was a party as much as it was like a great place to perform. It was a great place to hang out with comics.
Yeah. It really, by design, the patio that wrapped around was insane. Like, what an architectural monstrosity for artists and creativity. Like, because that's it. You're hanging out outside. We know the weather's 80 degrees, it was built for that perfectly.
It used to be before all the blizzards.
The blizzards. Yeah, how it rained like crazy in LA, right?
Yeah, and snowed. I mean, like in
Did it snow in LA?
The mountain, it's sleeted and hailed, so pretty much, kind of. But
Jesus.
Burbank, the mountains in Burbank, all snow covered. It was weird. It weird.
Snowed once back in the day. It was beautiful. I was running with my dogs, and I was running in the hills. And as we were running, I was like, "What is going on? This is crazy." And snow was falling. I'm like, "This is fucking nuts." And I didn't even have a cell phone back then. Or I didn't have a cell phone camera back then. I wasn't running with one.
Someone told me that it snowed in Miami yesterday.
Yeah.
No shit.
How is that possible?
Snowed in Miami?
That's what I heard.
That's fucked up shit.
Bro.
Yeah,
that's like the day after tomorrow type shit. Remember that stupid movie?
Have you been watching that new show?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's great.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yesterday. I don't know.
It didn't just jump up to 85 degrees.
It does that here.
Well, I typed in
Wait a
Miami
minute.
snow and it says 46 years ago.
No, it didn't snow in Miami, bro. You're on the wrong TikTok. We're both getting duped by TikTok.
God damn it.
TikTok's showing Michigan. Like, look what's happening to Miami. And it gets 500 million views. And the Chinese are laughing at us.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're in a bad algorithm, kid.
Damn.
Sorry.
I'm not even on the TikTok. You on TikTok?
No.
It's good
Hell
for
no.
laying in bed right before you sleep.
It's good for them finding exactly where you are at all times.
Yeah. And everything about
Good
you.
for them knowing every password you've ever devised.
Yeah.
It's good for knowing what two-factor authentication app you use and what your password to that is. Yeah.
Speaking of which, they finally announced 3 years later that it was a lab leak out of Wuhan. The Wall Street Journal.
Everyone knew that already.
Crazy. New York Times, too. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. Duh.
After we knew that.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
the
a
Energy
testament
Department
for...
said it, which is a little weird.
it's weird. You know what it's like? It's like they're leaking it out slowly so that it's not something that they can never say they figured out. Like if they deny it, and then it gets to this overwhelming part where everybody realizes it came out of there, then it looks horrible. So you just have to like slowly do it. Do it through the energy. The energy department is such a weird department to do that through.
Well,
Maybe they did the cover up for the Sam Britton thing.
yeah, exactly.
So what does it say? What does the headline
If anyone
say,
knows
Jay?
about a weird leak, it's probably that lady.
Energy department finds COVID-19 most likely emerged from lab leak. Reports say what we know. Wow. Pretty crazy. Because that's the official government now. I mean, it's like they must have gotten approval to do that, right? It's not like there's some rogue agents at the Department of Energy. It's like, I know what I'm going to fucking do. I'm going to let everybody know where this virus came from. No, that guy's got a boss. It's fucking crazy, dude. It's really weird. It's really weird that like the truth slowly but surely comes out about all this stuff.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what's going to happen with East Palestine.
Yeah.
It said, looking into it, it says with low confidence they have concluded.
Yeah, that doesn't. I don't know what that means, but they're saying it. You know, I don't know what they mean by low confidence. It seems so. If you talk to biologists that talk, like when Brett Weinstein has broken down why he believes it was a manipulated virus, he's saying that because he's a biologist who studied coronaviruses from bats. He actually studied the very animal that he's talking about. So when he explains why this doesn't make sense and why this the structure of the thing has been altered, and when he's doing it from a very scientific perspective. When you hear that, like, it's duh. And he said that at the early days, and it got him in trouble with YouTube. It got him in trouble with a lot of his friends. A lot of people got really crazy about it. They thought that it was that saying that it was from a lab connected it to China, which connected it to Trump saying it came from China, which was bad. Because Trump called it the China virus, and everybody was like, that's racist. And so even if you connect it to that, if you're wrong, about that, like if you're the one that's saying, hey, this is a lab leak and it's not a lab leak, and you're shaming those people get very upset at you. So you have to be really fucking clear before you say it came from China for sure, from a lab. And then when you find out that maybe the United States had a little bit involved in funding that type of research, you're like, what?
Right. Crazy.
The
What?
FBI said they confirmed it with moderate confidence in 2021.
Yeah, so the FBI says it too.
Well,
moderate confidence in 2021, and that's a lot better than low confidence. Moderate confidence is like, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
4 other federal agencies have concluded the pandemic began from natural transmission, and 2 agencies are undecided. Oh, okay, so there's an ideological dispute within the agencies. I wonder what the other agencies that think it's coming from natural selection. I wonder what their evidence is. Because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of evidence that points in that direction.
Wild the coincidence would be if it started from that in Wuhan, which had a coronavirus lab.
So weird.
What are the odds?
Remember when Jon Stewart went on Colbert and had that whole rant about it coming from the lab, and Colbert tried to step all over it?
Right.
Did you hear Woody Harrelson on SNL?
Yeah.
Did you see that
Another
immediately after Woody Harrelson had that monologue on SNL where he's joking around about a drug company forcing you to take their drug? Right after it, the next day, there's all these hit pieces. Like they were timed. Like there's a hit piece in Vox, there's a hit piece in Vanity Fair, there's a hit piece calling him an anti-vaxxer and a stoner. And
he sucked on Cheers.
And there's conspiracy theories. He's pushing conspiracy theories. No. That's not what he's doing. He's a joke monologue on SNL about something that makes people laugh because you can kind of make a weird comparison to those two. That's the only reason why the joke works.
Yeah.
The only reason why it works is because people are thinking it. Like, so for you guys to come out and say, like, oh, conspiracy theories, no, it's jokes about a possible conspiracy theory. And the one that he's describing it's not even a real one. He's making a joke about what the real one was like. Maybe not the best joke, maybe not the best delivery.
It's SNL.
But the fact that got this immediate response where all these people defend the pharmaceutical companies. They're all jumping in and defending them, like in unison. They're all anti-vaxxer, stoner. And, instead of saying it sucked, or instead of saying, hey, stick to acting, no, it's like they all wanted to jump in to defend the vaccine. They all wanted to jump in and defend the pharmaceutical companies from this anti-vaxxer, stoner actor who's talking. It's just interesting that they all take that route. I get criticized in the monologue, but all taking that route. That's an anti-vax conspiracy theory. Like, is it? No, he's joking about a way things went down.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot to what he's saying, like forcing you to take their drug. Like, that kind of was happening. And if you weren't getting forced, you were certainly getting coerced. You were getting urged on by the government.
There was probably a commercial for a medicine right after that.
Yeah.
Probably right away. Right away. It's not like they're not spending money on all this stuff. Like, it's like, why are we pretending? And so when he makes that joke and he talks about them buying all the media, and then all the media responds as if they've been bought and paid for, that's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many articles written about him, like right away.
Yep.
I was like, this is crazy.
I always look at both sides, and CNN had it, but also CNN is owned by the same company that owns SNL, so it's tricky because they don't want to make them look bad, but they, angled it like it was him.
Yeah.
Even though what we know is that these scripts are approved days in advance.
Yeah, they had to prove that unless he went out and Dave Chappelle'd it.
Yeah, he didn't.
Dave had 2 different monologues.
Of course he did.
Dave ran one monologue by everybody and killed. And they're like, this is great. Then he goes out front and reads, does a whole separate one. Oh, God bless him. God bless him. If Woody Harrelson did that, God bless him. But, you know, look, the fact that everybody jumped in like that was just very interesting. I know they're reporters, and I know they have to report on things, and I know that's a good snarky way to get people to read your article. But, like, that seems coordinated.
It's a rough one, too, because Woody Harrelson's a badass motherfucker. So it's like someone that's hard to attack. I mean, everything he's done is great. He's so undeniable, so cool. Even his delivery of the thing that wasn't that funny but purposeful, kind of, was good.
Yeah, it was good.
He's
especially from a guy who's not a comic. He's doing stand-up, essentially. He's doing a monologue.
Truly one of the best comedic actors. Truly.
Oh, my God, man.
Kingpin
is amazing.
I just rewatched that.
Kingpin is amazing.
Oh, my God.
God damn, that movie's funny.
He's throwing up every time he pictures her.
That's the Farrelly brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I think that might be their best one.
Well,
that and Something About Mary.
I just rewatched that, too. I got into a Farley.
Something About Mary's amazing.
I worked with him. I punched up a script for him for
Peter?
For a new Amazon thing that came out a few years ago. I can't even remember the name of it. But anyway, and I told him that. And it was like a moment, you know what I mean, where I had this thing loaded up, and I go, Kingpin, by the way, I mean, I think that should have had an Oscar without a doubt. And he goes, I've always thought the same thing.
Is that good?
He goes, I've always thought it was my best work. He has it above Dumb and Dumber, too.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely better than that. Kingpin is like, it's on another level. Mm-hmm. It's one of the best comedy movies of all time, for sure.
And it's got Showdown in it. Electric Light Orchestra. Right. That final scene where Bill Murray's hair is slowly fucking going crazy. I mean, that's the thing. Is
when
Bill
we're in the
Murray,
green room.
Yeah.
No, tell people, when we're in the green room, that's the song we listen to.
Oh, yeah. All around the world. The O2 Arena,
the fucking
MSG.
This is the comb over when it's flying around. Oh my God! And the fact that it's about bowling.
Yeah, and Amish.
It's amazing.
It made me want to have a bowling alley in my house. That when I saw that movie, I was like, "That's my dream."
How many people went bowling after they saw that? Fucking everybody.
And he's got the comb over too. They make it like it's a bowling thing where these guys just are trying to keep their hair that they don't have.
It's amazing.
They're making fun of everything.
Dude, it's so good. Such a good movie. It's so funny, man.
Yeah.
When he has to have sex with the landlady because he can't afford the rent, and then he's throwing up.
you know, she's the same girl in Something About Mary that played the lady that tanned too much.
Oh, is that the same lady?
Yeah, same lady.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Isn't she in something, a Happy Gilmore or something too?
She's in something else, I think.
I feel like she's like.
I'm sure she was.
She looks so much better than.
She was in Insidious. Oh my God, she's in the whole Insidious movie.
Wow. Franchise. 1, 2, 3. I
didn't know there was that many of them. What's Insidious about?
I don't know.
How do I not know this?
I've never heard of it.
Maybe I'm mistaken. I think it's about those people. We talked about it with Sam and Colby, but there's like this couple that did a bunch of these stories, and they've made movies out of all of their interactions almost.
Oh, so this is all like poltergeist movies?
I think.
She's
maybe
a lead in it.
Yeah, she plays like the badass lady who's like not afraid of this fucking.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's so weird.
And so this Insidious franchise, how long has that been going on for?
A couple years for sure. I've seen 2 of them. Maybe.
Are they good?
Not awful.
There you go.
33%.
It depends.
Good
if
little
you have to
scary
be into
movie.
like those scary kind of movies or whatever. It's not a comedy. It's not a drama.
Yo, you know what I saw recently that was really wild? Smile. Have you seen Smile?
Yeah.
Dude.
What's that?
It's fucking creepy. It's a horror movie, but it's good, dude.
Yeah.
It's good. There's something really fucking creepy about it.
The marketing they did during the summer was crazy. They had people showing up at different sporting events, getting
just
on camera,
smiling at
just
people?
standing there smiling for like 9 innings of a baseball game.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they were telling everybody what was going on.
Is there video? Is there? You should show.
That's a good way to get the fuck beaten out of you.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's a good way to get the fuck beaten out of you in the wrong place.
No.
Try that shit in Philadelphia. Oh my God, that's not good. That's so crazy that they did that.
You know that black lady's like, what the hell?
She's behind
Oh my
plate.
God.
Oh, that's so scary.
Did you see?
Dude, if you see that movie, that's fucking scary. If you see that movie, that is scary. I'm telling you, people smiling is scary.
Oh, I don't have it on the screen. Sorry. She's
Did you
just
see
sitting there in a
that?
rain delay by herself.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like,
what the fuck is this creepy ass shit at the Yankees game?
Oh no,
bro, that would freak me the fuck out. Imagine if you had anxiety and you just got way too high and you go to the
that would freak.
Go
me
to the
fuck
game
out.
and this lady's sitting there smiling. You know how bad if you on acid and that happened.
dude, I had a fucking mushroom cap last Monday after a show. Went to see some music, and that's how I felt. It was like that. I had a weird one. I had a weird little. It was a dark little fucking. I'm not doing mushrooms after hosting Kill Tony anymore. I learned a weird thing.
Yeah,
my
but
brain's too like open and stuff.
Also, like
It's hilarious.
you're probably tired.
Yeah, exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah, complete.
You're thinking about going to sleep, and then all of a sudden, mushrooms like, nope,
Right.
no sleeping.
Yeah.
Contemplate humanity.
Yep.
Contemplate your existence.
Yep.
Contemplate your place and time.
Yep. No more mushrooms on a Monday for Tony.
Experience all these life forms, trying to make their way through this realm. When you're out in public and you're shrooming, it's just such a strange feeling.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't like it. I've been, you know,
not wise.
The cool thing about moving to LA so young is that I had so many of those great Joshua Tree trips, and that's where I started.
yeah.
And I'm like, this is great. I'm laughing. I can do this.
That's one thing that like Oregon's figured out before California has. They made that legal up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read a thing about how legalized prostitution lowers rapes and sexual crimes by an insane percentage. This is a new thing that just came out.
I think legalized prostitution, if we were living in a place that had legalized prostitution always, it had always existed, I think we would all be pretty cool with it. I know that sounds crazy because you don't want your daughter, your sister, your mother to do that, but I think that, okay, while prostitution itself is legal, many activities associated with it, such as brothels, soliciting in a public place, and pimping are illegal. Prostitution Bill 2011 was introduced to regulate the industry and allow brothels in non-residential areas. And where is this at? Is Australia? Oh, Australia has rules like that. Yeah, that's like Jim Jeffries had a joke about that, about his dad going to the brothel. But it's like when there's something like that has always existed, I think people would it would just be a normal thing. But when you try to make something legal that is illegal, people think their whole life of something as being a terrible thing and it's illegal. You shouldn't be able to do it. And so we have it in our head that it's a terrible thing because it does have terrible consequences for some people. Like prostitution must have bad consequences for some people, and being involved with people intimately you don't even know for cash.
It's dangerous.
It's weird. It's like as much as we want to think that it's just like getting a massage, it's a little bit more. It's a little weirder. It's like someone's not just rubbing you to make you feel better. They're sexually pleasuring you. Should it be illegal? Why would it be illegal when it's legal to just have sex with someone for free? Like gold digging's legal. You could fuck some old rich guy and steal his money. That's legal. Like why shouldn't you be allowed to make a deal with a person? Like you want a blowjob? I want $1,000. Like that to me seems like a normal human right. Whether you want to do it or not, both people are consenting.
It's crazy.
I think it's out of our hands. It should be out of everybody's hands. If two people agree, and one person says like, "Hey, I'll help you move your couch, but I want $50," and you're like, "Okay, help me move the couch inside. I'll give you $50." It's a deal. Like your friend, some neighbor, whatever. It makes a deal with you. If you say, "Hey, you need $50, I want to come in your mouth. What do you think?" And he's like, "All right." Like, is that nobody's going to care about that? Nobody gives a fuck about male prostitution. 0 people care. 0 concern for the male prostitutes. Fucking 0. How many guys are out there worried about all the guys that are blowing gay guys for cash? Nothing. Fucking 0 people are worried about it.
What's the filming at loophole then?
The filming at loophole is that if you're doing pornography, you could pay someone for cash.
What if it's
for sex?
Private
rather.
collection of pornography?
Yes, you can do that. There is a loophole apparently. There was some girl used to tell people that at the Comedy Store. She tell people that. Yeah, if you do it, we do it on camera. You can pay me for sex.
And if you take them to dinner first,
poor crazy crackhead. Yeah, but you could. If you think about like gold digging is a fascinating thing when you see it so clear, when it's like really obvious that this, 26-year-old bombshell is dating an 80-year-old billionaire. Like, it's hilarious. Like, but this is a deal. There's a deal. Like, he has access to incredible resources, so much wealth, things you couldn't possibly imagine. But you gotta suck that old dick.
What was the old Anna Nicole thing?
Yeah. J. Howard Marshall. Yeah. He's 90. I'm like, don't you think he knows? He made $1 billion from scratch. He knows the fuck he's doing.
He's like Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be eventually.
Yeah, Leo's pushing it. He's pushing it. You might want to settle down soon. It's starting to get weird. But it's like, that's legal. We all agree that's legal. But if he just say it like flat out to her, I'll pay you for sex, that's illegal, which is really interesting. Like, it has to be some sort of a weird thing where he gives her money because he loves her, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a little odd. It's a little odd because, like, you can't go to, like, the 26-year-old that marries the 80-year-old billionaire and go, hey, do you really love him? What the fuck are you doing? You can't, like, grill her. Are you committing a crime here, young lady? Are you swindling this poor old Alzheimer's patient out of all his money by blowing him? Like, what's going on here? But nobody would stop that. Zero people stop that. Maybe the family. Maybe the family that thought this young floozy's going to take all the loot.
Oh, yeah.
That happens. Mm-hmm. For sure that happens.
Oh, they must be scared to death when an animal walks in.
If you're like an old billionaire dude, you do not get a hot nurse. Not a chance. Not a fucking chance. The wife is never going to let a hot nurse in the house. Get the fuck out of here. That hot nurse is going to be working on this dude going, listen, your wife's kind of a cunt.
Yeah. Here's 2 black rhinos. Let's have some
fun.
fun.
Let's go. I'll lock that door. Let's go. How much time you got left, Harry? Come on. I'm your nurse. I'll tell you. Not much. Not a lot of time. Let's fuck. Just buy me a house. Harry, buy me a house. That's probably what she says. When she sticks it in. Harry, buy me a house.
This is a very generic website, but is this real?
Datebillionaire.com.
Yeah, it's real.
The largest billionaire dating
what?
site online.
It is.
Oh my God. Datebillionaire.com.
Who's it for? The billionaires or
billionaire dating site? Date billionaires on datebillionaire.com.
I mean, that's why.
Welcome to datebillionaire.com, the most professional dating site for billionaire men and beautiful women.
Oh. What about billionaire women?
Listen to the way that's phrased. Welcome to datebillionaire.com, the most professional dating site for billionaire men and beautiful women. Is there some unprofessional dating sites for billionaire men?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are they saying?
Not as easy to use.
We should sign up for
That
free.
sounds like someone who doesn't know English that good.
That's why I
right?
asked if it was real. But
Can I see that again?
Yeah, that's tricky.
That statement, the way that's phrased, it's like, hey, where did you grow up?
That's why I think it is a weird thing because at the bottom it goes to this like sugar daddy sites.
Yeah, it's like almost like a porn.
Bro, this is like one of
really
them Nigerian cats to set up this fishing net.
Got a virus.
Yeah, you just got a virus clicking on that. Yeah, that's one of them scams. Those scams are beautiful when you get those fucking emails telling you that you have like millions of dollars waiting. All you have to do is like give us your PIN number.
Have you heard of that? It's been going on before the AI stuff, but people get called and they'll say that it sounds like someone they know, a child, whatever it is. I'm kidnapped. You need to send this person money. To the person on the phone that's getting this call, it sounds 100% real. I've read a lot of cases about this.
Oh, well, think about that now with AI. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Their first call is not to a family member to be like, is this person really kidnapped? Or, do you know where they are? Geolocation, anything like that. They send money. It's happened a lot.
You're not going to be able to know. You're not going to be able to know.
Well, that Joe Rogan thing that you were supposedly selling, those supplements, that AI thing.
Oh yeah. There's one of those.
That was pretty
it's a
real.
Deep fake one.
Yeah.
Yep, me and Huberman.
Yeah.
And then there's another one with me doing a podcast with Steve Jobs.
Yes, that sounds awesome.
It's like a full podcast.
I love that. That's actually really funny because
how long is the Steve Jobs Me podcast? I think it's like 14 minutes or something.
Can you imagine if we had Richard Pryor as a guest on Kill Tony?
Oh my God. Oh my God. It would be more of a guest on a podcast, because having a guest on Kill Tony, you'd have to respond to the different comedians. It'd be too weird.
Yeah.
There's something I saw yesterday.
Oh my God, it's a
Thing
fake
called
Conan.
Conan Diffusion. It's using the Diffusion app to make Conan. Then his guests. I don't know what
On
it
a
sounds
talk
like.
show
Rogan?
that's hosted by an AI.
Yeah, I hear you, but I promise I won't malfunction and
So it's
start
them
attacking
talking.
the audience or anything. Speaking of malfunctioning, let's check out my dance moves.
I mean, it's not good, but
Yeah.
it is.
So
Every now and then. Although I have to say it's a little weird to smoke with a machine.
yeah, I can imagine. But seriously, what can you tell us about your latest project?
Yeah, it's weird.
I have a horrible feeling about all this.
Yeah.
I have a horrible feeling that we are about to enter an era where you will have no idea what's true.
Right.
I have a horrible feeling just watching that. Just watching that, I was like, that would be a really good way for us to move into some new phase of reality. If you had absolutely no idea what was true and what was not. You had no idea if someone did say that, or if that event actually did take place, or CGI. Can you imagine if there was a bunch of people out there saying that East Palestine was CGI?
Morning, only to find that you weigh 2 pounds less. Well, I have a theory about that. I think it's because we all have an inner fat man that comes out at night and eats all the snacks. It's like a secret nighttime binge that we never even knew about. So COVID-19.
His dick just pop out for a second?
Some weird shit there.
Yeah, it's odd. But that's just the beginning, man. This is like the very first like implementations of these. This is like Pong. Doot, 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 doot. That's what it's like. We're going to get the Unreal 4 engine soon, you know, and that's going to be really weird. It's going to be very weird. You're going to be able to never have to have an actor ever again. For every movie you do, you could just do Leonardo DiCaprio when he was 39. You could do that over and over and over and over again, and no one will be able to tell.
Like Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
This is a alleyway from Hong Kong recreated in Unreal 5.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It looks. I thought
Unreal
it was,
5
I thought
is
it was real.
fucking incredible.
This is really, really.
Was Unreal 4 the one that we were raving about before?
No.
That was 5 as well?
It's 5 we've been talking about for about a year now.
Oh, okay. So 5 was the one where they had the woman who was running in the cliffs?
Yep. They've been updating it too, which is
it's
why it's been getting
amazing.
better.
They have this shit in VR. I mean,
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. It's crazy. The fact that this is all artificial, sounds are artificial.
Can add sounds is the easiest thing I think to fake now. But
Yeah, but this is crazy, man. I mean, this is crazy. It's so photorealistic. And the fact that these guys have been constantly at this since the 90s. You know, they've been like, when was the very first computer game that had like a 3D like Doom style engine? Like, what was the first one? Was it Castle Wolfenstein?
Yeah.
Castle Wolfenstein, was it the first one?
I can't imagine there was one before that, but I don't think there was.
Right, and Castle Wolfenstein was like on one very specific platform, right?
it was just PC, I thought.
Was it?
I think so.
What did I think? It was like a DOS game or something
10
like that.
games that came before
Duke
Wolfenstein,
Nukem.
but these didn't look very good. Let me see.
So that was that was the first. Doom was the first big one. Like when Doom, do you know what they came with the name Doom? Do you know? Remember the movie The Color of Money?
Mm-hmm.
When Tom Cruise goes to the pool hall, and this guy who's the local hustler sees Tom. He's sitting there with a big smile on his face. He's got a pool cue in his lap. He goes, "What you got in that case, boy?" And he goes, "In here, in here." And he opens it up. He goes, "Doom."
Wow.
And he shows this.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, I should play that scene. It's a dope scene. It's supposed to be a balabushka, which is like this very famous pool cue.
Good game.
What you got in there?
In here? Doom.
Wow.
Come on, boy. Let's play.
Yeah, let's play.
Oh shit.
We're gonna have a lot of fun.
What
It's
a
probably
star.
the best Tom Cruise movie of all time.
He's so cool.
The Color of Money rejuvenated pool.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking thing made everybody want to be a pool player. That made me want to play. Man, that fucking movie was great. He played Vince, this crazy pool hustler that Paul Newman's character, Fast Eddie Felson, the original character from The Hustler, makes a comeback into the world of pool. He got knocked out of pool by organized crime And that was the end of the movie The Hustlers, that he could never go back to playing again.
It was a little bit before my time, but Pool Hall Junkies hit me right at a cool place, fresh out of high school, into film.
The problem with Pool Hall Junkies is they can't really play pool. When you're watching them play pool, you're like, I'm not buying it.
Right.
When you're watching Tom Cruise play pool, Tom Cruise studied with Mike Siegel.
Wow.
Mike Siegel, who was also a left-hander, like Tom Cruise is, Mike Siegel taught Tom Cruise how to play pool. Like he taught him how to stroke through the ball. He taught him how to get down on a shot and look like a professional pool player. Like you look at him play, and it's a little stiff. Like I'm not totally buying it, but because I watch a lot of professional pool, but he can play. Like you can see, he knows how to run out. He's moving the ball around correctly. When you're watching Pool Hall Junkies, it's like, get the fuck out of here.
That's sick.
Cast is great though.
It's just as a pool player, it's like there's only a couple of movies where they did pool correctly, and the real ones are The Color of Money and The Hustler.
Yeah,
it's one of those things like you can't fake whether or not you can do it good. It looks weird if you're faking it. Like, if you don't really know how to play pool and you're down on a shot, you look all fucking goofy and shit. Someone can tell right away. It's like, there's got to be something you do that's like that, right?
Kind of. I was playing with David Lucas. I mentioned this to you. I was playing with David Lucas.
You said Dave plays good, you said.
He plays so good. We were in Houston, and we went to a pool hall both nights after all the shows. And he doesn't get down at all. He has this. I mean, we were literally laughing. Nick was making jokes. He goes, he's like one of those old Wild West movies where they just sling the guns out, because he doesn't bend over, but he's got a fucking stroke. I couldn't believe it.
A lot of big guys don't bend over.
Right.
Yeah, like if you watch there's like the guy named Steve Miserak. He's like one of the greatest of all time, and he was a big guy, especially later in his life. He did those. I think they were Bud Light commercials. It was some light beer commercial, and it was him like doing trick shots on a pool table, and he was multiple time world champion. And in this one, he wasn't too big. Like you could see, he's a big guy, but see how he doesn't get down on the ball like a smaller pool player would. Like a guy who's not. See, there he is when he's very heavy late in life. If you go to that picture right there, where you see him right there, like that's what he looked like later in life.
Wow.
So he got very, very big. He was still an amazing pool player, even as big as he was and as hard as it must have been to move around the table. When you watch that guy move the ball around, you'd be like, holy shit, he was a master. It was like he had this control of where that ball was going. It's just beautiful to watch. That's what you can't fake in like a Pool Hall Junkies movie.
Right.
You can't fake that. So, like, if you're telling me this guy's the killer player and I watch him bang balls around,
right?
It's like, get out of here.
My Instagram algorithm's been showing me crazy pool shit. I saw a guy make every ball on a break.
It's not real.
It's not real?
No.
Damn.
God, I just get breastfeeding videos all the time.
Whoa.
Like they all these breastfeeding videos with like really like TikTok-y, like sexy girls breastfeeding have been just
That's hilarious.
flooding my.
I'm sure somewhere someone must have once made all the balls on the break. I'm sure. But when you're watching those balls go on the break, one thing that's disturbing to me is that they all seem to be kind of moving in around the same speed. Mm-hmm. That doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, this one's not real. No way.
Yeah. See, they're all. Well, the last one was kind of slow, but I just don't think it's real.
She's hot.
I think it's fake.
Look at that. How'd they move again?
Oh no! Look at that right there.
Yeah, watch. Now those balls just move again. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see some shit.
It's like 2 or 3 breaks.
Missing frame 313.
Yeah. They shot all those balls in the holes and filmed them going in. But anyway, that's it.
You've been playing pool a lot locally. I saw you some pool players saying that you stopped in.
No, I just went to watch. They had the Texas Open in town. That guy Fedor Gorst, who was on the podcast before.
Yeah.
I went to watch him play. I just wanted to stop in for a little bit, but it's a long ass pool tournament. It goes on all day. Why are you showing me people breastfeeding?
It's my feed too.
What?
It's in your feed
too.
That's your feed?
It's been,
you
I've
got
been getting
breastfeeding on your
fucking
feed?
weird videos, man.
Why are you getting breastfeeding on your feed?
It's a lot of weird like here. This is.
I have
not the
never
same,
had
but,
a breastfeeding
Are you serious?
video.
When you get
Random
buttholes and stuff.
Jamie, what's going on with
it's
you?
a lot of Instagram turned into porn. It really did.
Yeah.
No,
It
we
has.
didn't.
Well,
This is because you guys are watching
No,
this shit and clicking on it and
promise
putting
you.
your little waiver over it and
promise
all
I
the
don't.
things.
No,
They have.
I look at
Yes.
I look at shit
There's
zoo
weird
videos.
stuff.
a lot of Liver King stuff in there, son.
Well, that's because I'm looking
Is
it up
that
for here.
Natty? Is that Natty Liver King? Is that what that's supposed
I'm
to be?
looking it up for
Wait,
here,
is that a
probably.
Is that him, Natty?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
There's a loophole where they're allowed to show breastfeeding
Yeah.
videos on YouTube and stuff.
There's weird stuff.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that YouTuber that just got 10 years for it?
What happened?
She lost her job and she started putting out videos of her breastfeeding on YouTube because YouTube has this law, if it's educational, you're allowed to show breasts, like, you know, Brazilian wax or whatever. And so she found out about that and started doing like I'm a dirty slut mom, and then pouring oil over the baby and her while doing it.
Oh, boy.
She just got sentenced to 10 years, but she blew up.
Oh my God!
What was the charge?
Child endangerment, yeah, abuse. I mean, what if you're doing that with your kid?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
This is not new though, but
What does it say?
2018
Facing
shit.
additional charges. So what did she say? What does it say she did? One count connected to a series of sexualized breastfeeding videos involving her young son. Oh, sexualized.
Young
Ew.
son.
Yeah, like putting oil on it and like,
Ew.
and with captions like "I'm a dirty slut mom."
Oh
and
no!
shit like that.
That's crazy.
37 new
Oh.
counts.
37 new counts of aggravated possession of child pornography stem from the videos, which were sold online, included footage of Felton breastfeeding a toddler and sometimes involved her rubbing oil on herself and the child and other sexual acts. Depict child pornography, investigators say. Fuck. Damn. Dude, again, there's crazy people out there. There's crazy people out there. And if that one's your mom, like, oh my God. Oh my God. Imagine growing up to find out your mom was doing that while you were a baby.
Yeah.
No wonder I'm so weirded out by oil.
Now it's interesting if that baby's going to like be a boob guy or an ass guy growing up.
I think that's where it comes from?
Yeah.
I wonder. How do you explain feet guys?
I heard it's from feet. It's when you're a baby crawling around, your mom had walking by you all the time.
Oh. And you start getting little baby boners
Yeah,
from your
mom's
dick rubbing
feet.
against the carpet.
Or Tom and Jerry.
Baby boners.
Baby boners.
When did you get your
Chewable dick
first
pills.
boner? Like at what age? What
That's
age?
an interesting. I could kind of see why that might work because, like, my mom wasn't walking around a lot when I was a little kid, and I'm not into feet at all. I've
Right.
always found it like very weird.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense. Meanwhile, my mom does. I was drinking milk out of her. She has gigantic boobs, and I love big boobs. That
yeah,
makes
but
sense.
who doesn't? It's like saying I love money. Who doesn't love money? Who doesn't love boobs? It's like, it's one of those things. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're right.
Who's like, I fucking hate them. Hate them, bro. Hate them. They're big and juicy. Big and juicy and excited.
But it's
I hate 'em.
areola size. You know, like a lot of people hate like the big giant areolas. I love them. My mom had the big areolas.
Dudes are weird with stuff, right? I think. Do you think that comes from porn, where they're staring at like a certain ideal all the time?
I mean,
like if you really give a fuck about areola size, is that really the deal breaker here?
I mean, have you seen those small ones that look like Hans Kim nipples? I don't want that.
Hans Kim nipples.
Yeah, like they're big, but they
Hans
have
Kim has
tiny.
very normal, respectable nipples.
They're dark though.
Have you seen Hans Kim get out of the pool? His nipples look fucking totally normal.
Tell.
What happened?
What happened?
Tell him in Florida the other day.
Oh,
What did
yeah,
he do?
we found out yesterday that he was at a pool party in Florida and he didn't bring a bathing suit, so he went in his jeans, but he did have swim goggles that he brought and a drone. So he was in the swimming pool flying a drone with goggles on. Like, what's up, ladies?
Like Speedo goggles.
Wearing jeans.
That sounds like a Hans Kim move.
Just jeans and a Rolex in a pool in Tampa
That
with
sounds
a drone.
like that sounds like Hans Kim.
That's our boy.
Yeah.
That's an original.
Never mind. I said, why not buy a bathing suit? But I know.
No. That's too complicated.
Nothing makes any sense.
You gotta fucking stop all logic at the Hans Kim door.
Oh my goodness.
Just let him be Hans. Let him swim with his pants on.
Yeah.
He's a maniac.
He's
It's one of the cool things about what you guys are doing with Kill Tony is you get to see a guy go from being first timer on stage or first timer on Kill Tony, been doing open mics, and then if you guys like him and make him a regular, then all of a sudden they're doing a minute every week. They develop fans. You put them on your shows. You go on the road with them. In Hans's case, he went all the way to arenas in like 8 months of being around here.
Of being around here, what's interesting is that our last 3 regulars, David, Hans, and William, have all been doing it about 8 years, right? But what's cool is we're kind of the last few weeks getting back to our roots. We just gave a golden ticket to a guy named Aaron Belisle.
He's amazing.
He's amazing. And he has cerebral palsy, no use of his left arm. He walks fine, and but he's mute. He can't speak at all. So he takes the microphone, puts it on top of a Bluetooth speaker that he already has hooked up, and begins. And
how does he type it in?
Crushes. He has a super fast thumb on his. He has it down to where like he can do like
swiping,
cursive. Yeah, swiping. He just keeps his thumb and
swipes.
He moves as fast as he can.
Have you ever been able to swipe?
Yeah, but I don't like it. I don't trust it.
And then he goes voice to text, so it just says out what he wrote.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what's cool is that he's only been doing it
6 months
right now, and he's like a savant. So we're getting to like really reinforce good things, and he's just has like no notes at this point. He's just crushing.
I got to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see because Tom Green told me about him.
Yeah. Oh,
Tom Green.
Tom Green has a Bluetooth battery and a JBL.
It's about 12 to 13 hours.
Tony has been taking hormone treatments to have the figure of a female tennis player.
That's true. That's actually true. And I'm not there yet. Still, I need a lot more injections to get to.
Everything about you reminds me of Peter Pan, except the fact that Peter Pan was less like Tinkerbell than you are.
He's just laying into me.
And also, Peter Pan didn't throw handicapped people off of his stage every once in a while. They felt threatened. With a fucking Gladiator 300 kick to the chest. I will send you into Caution's way.
That's true.
And you ain't the type that she's gonna catch. You know what I'm saying?
There was a lesbian off behind it.
Yeah,
That's Caution.
She's gonna take your pain and fucking shove it where the sun don't shine, which is a lot of places.
This guy's a bully. Fuck.
Yeah, he really is.
He really is. Are you from Canada? Is he? He's Canadian?
Yeah.
See, if he had American health care, might have caught that shit early.
I told him last week, you can really tell which arm they put the vaccine in.
Jesus. Jesus Christ.
And he laughs and he rolls with everything. His sense of humor is that of somebody that's been doing stand-up for 20 years. It's
That's amazing.
insane. The green room hang. I actually ended up, I was at one of these bars. My friends were playing music, and it was packed. I mean, unbelievable fire hazard. People dancing on picnic tables, shoulder to shoulder. It was chaos. I wanted to get out of there. Everybody wanted to get out of there. And I look, and I see him leaning against the fence in the back. No drink. Like he had just come in through the back door. Can't move. Can't get in. I get him a drink, and we end up hanging out for hours, having the best time, because it turns out he's a great fucking communicator and hang. Because when you're at loud bars or a concert, he just fucking shows you.
His phone, yeah.
And you're like, oh, you read what he's saying instead of me going, what? What did you say?
So he's all doing it one-handed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just swiping all the words.
Yep.
So how quick can he get a sentence out?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. You could tell that the technology isn't where it needs to be for someone flying through their thoughts with only their thumb.
Especially with one hand, because most people are doing it with two hands.
He mentioned last night in the green room specifically that, he's hoping for advancements in the field of whatever you would call that.
And what's cool, though, he has a lot of responses already where he does like a quick search, like, well, this is how, I went.
Right.
And so I told him I would make him a soundboard, but that's pretty much, if you had your whole thing where it's just a soundboard where you're like,
Dude, talk about counting on Google Notes.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever he's counting on, whatever he's using, like that shit got to stay up.
Yeah.
And battery life is very important. You can't just show up at a club without good battery life.
He has 2 JBL Bluetooths fully charged hanging by his waist in case one dies.
Yeah.
He's got another one.
Wow.
Like guns.
Wow.
Wild West.
He was roasting me last night live on the show, and I go, you make one more fucking joke about me, I'm going to play music on your Bluetooth.
And he's so cute because the last couple of weeks he goes, are you sure it's okay to make fun of Tony? I don't want him to be upset. And I'm like, oh, no. This is great. Keep it.
He's amazing. Aaron Belial.
Yep.
He's another Canadian. We also have, of course, Jared Nathan, who you know.
Yes.
Who's also a Canadian. The last 2 golden ticket winners, which I think there's only been 10 in 10 years of doing this show, which means you can perform it on any show if you're ever there for eternity. The last 2, I realized this last night while high as a kite after the show, have both been handicapped people from Canada.
They make
Jared Nathan, you should tell everybody, what exactly does he have?
It's called globally delayed, but that basically means that he has a touch of like everything. He's like all types of what we used to call the R word.
Globally. So
Globally.
that's what it means. He's got a little bit of everything.
Does he say globally retarded? What does he call it? Globally delayed.
Delayed, yeah.
Okay.
And it's like he has a little bit of Downs, a little bit of autism, a little bit of...
He's got a big stutter.
Yeah, stuttering.
But he's funny as fuck.
He's great.
Funny
It's hilarious.
as fuck. Man.
He's very funny.
Oh my
and
God.
he's got good timing. Like he understands comedy.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's like what you guys have done is really cool because you really get a chance to see people emerge. You know, they emerge out of Kill Tony and they have real careers. Like I think it's the best launching pad for beginning comics that's ever existed. I don't think there's anything like it. Because like the Tonight Show was never for comics that just started out. It was for like guys that put together like a career and then they're finally going to get their first Letterman. You know, that's what that was. It was like you're doing stand-up 7, 8, 9, 10 years by then, right? But this is like guys that are just starting, and it's such a ballsy move. When you got people like Ali Makovsky who go from doing a minute every week when she was like, how old was she?
19 when she first got on the show. Yeah.
Crazy. To, doing giant fucking places with us.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. And now headlining on the road. It's really weird. It's really weird to see. It's cool. You know, it's like, because it's happened before where people, you've seen them go from open micer to being a successful comedian. But it seems to happen more regularly and more, it's like there's a path. It seems like there's an actual path now. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that I think something like Kill Tony provides. It's like, now people say, look what everybody's done. Look what Hans Kim has done. Look what William Montgomery's done. Look what David Lucas has done. There's a fucking clear path. And if you can get on that show and do well, and then get on it again and do well again, like, dude.
And unlike The Tonight Show and America's Got Talent and Last Comic Standing, there's no notes. So you don't have to be clean. You know, it's just about being funny. Both Aaron Belial, Jared Nathan, William, David, Hans, they all push the limits. This is like what comedians know is, you know, what people want to see. They want to go have fun. They want to have a naughty night. They don't need it woke and, you know.
You can't do woke in a minute.
Right.
It's not going to work. Like this whole idea that you're going to project your social values onto the audience and it's going to make them like you more and agree with you more and
people
get some
we had a girl that came on yesterday. Yeah. She was like 6'4", purple hair. You know, I mean, it seemed dangerous. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And then she's just talking about how she gives the craziest blowjobs and all this. I'm like, oh, thank God. Whew. That was
close.
Yeah.
That's just an odd look.
Yeah.
The social justice comedy, like you just can't really do it in a minute. Like you have a minute to just do the thing that you want. What you want to do is when you see someone go up there and have a minute that fucking kills, and the professional comedians are clapping and you're clapping, and you're like, that's really good. Like, how long have you been doing it? Like, that's what everybody wants. And if you can get that going, man, like it's a beautiful cornerstone to comedy because it's like the perfect, like the perfect launching pad, but also like the perfect, like, I don't want to say battleground, but it is kind of a battleground for your own ideas. Like you got to figure out how to really just make it funny. You really got to, like, when you're putting a set together, maybe you try it one time and you realize it's just too much words, or you're setting it up, or it's too clunky. You know, you'll figure it out. You're duking it out with all these other people that are trying to do it too, so there's like a lot of pressure. So you're only going to get 1 minute, and there's 100 people plus signing up for a few spots. And, you know, it's random. Like when you decide to reach into that bucket, who the fuck knows who you're going to get? You're just looking in there, or you're not even looking. You look at, just putting your hand in there, pulling something out.
Where we found every single one of them was
it's
on
totally
a piece
random.
of paper.
It's totally random, and some guys get to go up more than once, and some girls get to go up more than once, and it's a building ground like that's not like anything else that's ever been around before. It's beautiful.
Just last week we had Roseanne on, and
it's amazing.
She's telling these people one after the other the most perfect advice, just clear cut, like wisdom that you just cannot make up. You can't write it. And even the people that were doing good, she's like, yeah, you could do good doing jokes like that, or that tells me that you could do even better by looking within yourself. You know, if you're doing that with being that surface level, then what do you really have inside? You know, and she was just crushing. And who better in the world than Roseanne Barr? Someone that literally did that. She took her own thing. She wasn't like everyone else. She still isn't like anyone else. And, you know, she showed that you could have a crazy career by just being yourself and writing what you know, the story that you can tell.
Yeah, it's a cool thing to have, man. You guys have put together something really cool.
She offered a full-time mentorship to that Aaron Belial kid.
A mentorship?
Yeah. She goes, you can call me anytime. I'm going to give you my number.
Whoa.
And they literally did. He asked me yesterday, he's like, you know, when do you think I should hit up Roseanne?
I'm like how you use your thumbs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize I did that.
Jimmy Carter thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's been cool having Ron White around, too.
Yeah.
The Godfather.
Hell yeah.
He's such an important person.
Yeah.
You know, such an important guy to have around too. And he's always working on new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Always working on new stuff. It's one of the cool things about Ron White. Never sleeps.
Couldn't believe it. He was last week. I saw a new 10 minutes. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, new notes.
Jesus.
He's excited.
Yeah.
He's energized about comedy. He's really excited about the club opening too. He's pumped.
It's happening. It's wild.
Yeah, hanging around there today was eerie.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it just feels so real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like about to happen. We've been talking about this for 2 years. You know, we had a place originally, and that fell apart. And then we found this perfect spot. And then we've realized that we had to renovate it and do it the right way. We'd get one shot at this. Let's not half-ass this thing and half open it up all fucked up. Let's do it the best we could do it.
It's so you also. There's so many little touches that, you know, like quotes with Diaz on it and stuff like that.
There's a quote right when you're leaving the green room. It's in neon, and it says, "Get it together, bitch." Joey used to say that every time you're going to go on stage. Mm-hmm. Get it together, bitch.
And the bar in it is so beautiful. No, the spaceships.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. We're excited. So that'll be happening soon. And we were going over where to do Kill Tony there.
Yeah. Yep.
We were hanging out there today.
Look at
that's
that.
the front.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Love it.
They did an amazing job putting this together. So any day now, we go.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's been a lot of fun, boys.
Hell yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad we're all out here together.
Yes.
Yeah. Really are. I'm glad we're all out here together, and there's so many of us now. It's such a good community. Yeah. We're so lucky. We're so lucky that we picked the right time and the right place, and it all came together like there was a giant magnet drawing us here.
Yep. It's a blast.
It's been really fucking fun. And what you guys have done with Kill Tony has been amazing. Going there on a Monday night and watching that rabid crowd. I mean, you guys have some of the most excited fans. They're so pumped for those shows. It's like, I mean, when I was there, people had flown in from Berlin. Like, what? Like, you guys flew in from Berlin?
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's weird when you think about where you guys started, you know? Remember those belly room shows?
Yeah.
I remember doing those back in the day. And to go from the belly room to what's happening now, like, holy
small
shit.
room at the Ice House, I think, was your first appearance.
I think you're right. The little room.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh my God, have you seen the Ice House rebuild?
No, I haven't.
It just opened back up. It looks like a whole different place. Where my studio used to be, I think they made that like a whole like waiting room. Like they just did everything brand new.
They spent millions of dollars.
Oh yeah, well the Lakers guy has tons of money.
Is there a video what the new Ice House looks like?
Yeah, I think on their Instagram they had it.
I was worried that they were going to ruin that room because that room was so good.
It really was.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did. I hope they didn't glitz it up too much because there was something about that room that there was the grittiness to that room that was similar to the grittiness from the Comedy Store, just different. It's like the suburb version.
Yeah.
You know, there was like a look how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
Was that Margaret Cho?
She's so funny. I like her.
And so, what does it look like outside of the stage? Because the stage, it's hard to see.
Yeah, they had like a video of them walking around. Bill Burr was just there the other day. Yeah, I think it's before this, if there is.
I didn't see much up here. That's what I was looking down.
So it's been open for how long now?
About 2 weeks, I think.
Good lineups.
Yeah.
Bill Burr, Pete Holmes.
I'm supposed to go out there. Because that's where I used to do the Secret Show all those years.
That's where Thunder Pussy started.
Thunder
too.
Pussy, which I want to bring back. I think about that fucking name, and I'm just like, I'm going to make that something.
Yeah, that should be something. Thunder Pussy was one of the best names ever.
Yeah, my favorite.
It's been a wild ride, boys. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited we're all here together. I'm excited that we're all here together in this weird, just very unusual moment. You know?
Yeah.
We get to enjoy this.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. But I just want to say thanks for coming on. It's always great to hang with you guys. And genuinely, as a fan of comedy, I think what you guys are doing with Kill Tony it's huge. It really is. It's like one of the best places ever for a person to start out and do stand-up.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for making it. All right. Bye, everybody.